sponsored by Dark Prime Collectibles. Listen, if you're interested in the Yu-Gi-Oh craze that's going, or excuse me, the Pokemon craze that's going on, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, Legos, or just old collectibles, whether that be Star Wars or if you were into action figures, Dark Prime Collectibles has what you need. I mean, I personally go there. I go to the Magic the Gathering. I really enjoy it, but on top of that, I get lost in the variety of items that they have to purchase. So make sure you go check out Dark Prime Collectibles. That is it. They are located at 354 State Street in Clearfield, Utah. And that's zip code 84015. Or you can check them out online. They do have an eBay store, so you can see the variety of their products and purchase them online. Thank you very much, Dark Prime Collectibles. Cody,
what's up, buddy?
You're back.
I am back.
I'm excited. So it's been about, I don't know, we figured like what, 6 weeks.
6 weeks. End of January.
Yeah, end of January.
Something like that.
And we had a great first episode. I mean,
dude, I had tons of fun. Went straight to work the next day. I'm like, guys, one, just because I'm there, you should go listen to him. Two, he's got a lot of great guests.
It's, podcasting is one of those things that just really is. It's a lot of fun because not only do you get to reconnect with people who were in your past and you grew up with, but the wide variety of people that I've met that honestly I probably never would have aside from that.
Or even just start finding out stories.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
No way, dude.
I mean, it's funny because I mean you told a bunch of stories on your last one, and you literally lived 5 minutes from me, if that.
Yeah, if that.
And I just. It's fascinating to me to be like, we grew up in the area, but we have different perspectives on everything, but we've seen so much of the same stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. I'm curious. So let me recap our first episode, right? Like we talked about living down here in Woods Cross, Utah, and kind of your farm area that you owned and how it's getting developed now. How has it felt lately driving past there? Because now there's houses.
I've only driven past there twice since it sold.
Really?
Once was right when they first had totally demolished everything and they just started building the road into it. And I'll be honest, I started tearing up. Oh. I had 25, 26 years of really great memories. I have so many dogs that we buried there. I had my horse that was buried there. There are just so many memories. Then I went down there when there was houses there. I'm like, man, screw you guys. I wanted to have my house down here.
I was very curious if that was how you'd feel, because even myself, it's not that I'm against development by any means, but it's sad to see spots that I knew you. I knew that was your land, and I was kind of put back. I was like, man, it's weird to see.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this sounds a little conceited for my family, but I feel like that was almost a landmark for Woods Cross. Because there weren't very many family farms left.
No, there wasn't.
I mean, down here on Redwood, there's some larger plots, but I feel like everyone that went up and down 1500, they knew.
Yes.
They could stop there. The horses were always friendly. The sheep were friendly. They could go feed them. They were chilling it.
I can't tell you, because I do a little garden myself. I have my whole life. I can't tell you how many times I've stopped by there and gave horses some carrots, and because it was part of.
It's like something you'd see in an older movie where you'd see people feeding their horses apples or carrots, and you kind of get that sense of feeling, even if it wasn't your animal.
Yeah.
I remember working down there so many times, and I'd have kids come up and be like, "Hey, this is what this horse's name is." I'm like, "It's not, but you can say that."
Sure. Yeah.
And they're like, my horse, before he died, about 5 years ago, his name was Tank, because he had tiny ass legs, but his body was just built like a tank. And he was small for his size, and I remember there was these 3 little girls that would come up to me every time I was out there riding, and they'd be like, "How's Princess doing today?" I'm like, he is not Princess.
You look down, you're like, he.
I'm like, you can name any other guy name you can name. Yeah. You could call him Lightning. Call him Lightning.
Yeah, he's not Princess.
He's not Princess, right? Not Princess. Come on, guys.
It was also just one of those, when you think of, hometown vibes, when you come to, Woods Cross in this area, you think of a couple key points. The apple, which is not really the apple anymore.
Is it still called the apple?
just got done streaming like.
See, it wasn't too long ago. It was
10 minutes ago.
True Crime Zone, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I don't know why.
Just wants to be difficult.
That's the, if I were to ever have one complaint about doing this, is just the odd. Oh, we're live. We're back.
We didn't know we were, but
yeah. So we'll recap kind of where we were at. But my one complaint with streaming is the fact that I could go literally for less than an hour and come back, and then there's problems that aren't just surface value problems that I can fix. There. But anyways, to get us caught up to where we were talking about the hometown vibes of Woods Cross, how you feel about the big changes that happened to your old property lately, and then your grandfather being the one who started the Woods Cross Police Force.
And the Clarence and the first murder. So that's part of why I want to get, so I don't know if it was on there, but we talked about my grandpa had a suitcase with all the evidence from it. And originally when they caught the guy that committed the murder, they couldn't prosecute him because one of the major pieces of evidence was mislabeled by Clarence. So they couldn't use that against him. So that's why my grandpa had the entire suitcase filled with all the evidence, which I don't know why it's in a suitcase. I think it's part of it. But I guess my grandpa had to go through and recategorize all of it and so that they could prosecute him for it.
It's cool. It would be cool to even just have that history. To be like, this was, the biggest murder in Woods Cross.
Oh yeah.
And to have any of that just for family keepsake is amazing.
There's a ton of stuff that my grandpa had that would be awesome to have, but I know it got split up amongst the kids, and I'm like, pretty much the only thing I got was I got to buy his old 88 Grand Marquis from the estate. I can't complain. $1,500, and it had like 49,000 original miles.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, the thing was mint. Besides, I had to replace the alternator, the battery, and oil.
Yeah, but I mean,
that was $500.
Yeah.
So I'm into it $2,000, and the thing runs like a dime. Oh, I have so many people like, dude, I'll buy it from you.
Oh, I bet. No. I bet everyone wants it.
I don't know. This will sound terrible. Like every Hispanic person I work with, at least once a week, is like, "What did you take for it? How much?
Too much.
How much?" I'm like,
too much.
$10,000. It's not worth $10,000. I don't want to sell it either. But if you offer me $10,000,
we'll talk.
We'll talk. I'm not gonna say no.
No, I don't know. I just think going back to like just Woods Cross as a whole, like you said, it always felt safe. And I've had this discussion a lot with people who come on, and it's our generation, right? And maybe people who are up to like 35, anyone who's a little bit older than us, but specifically our generation, we were probably going to be the last ones that really ventured without technology, right? Like we grew up like all the way up until 8th or 9th grade where we didn't have phones. We didn't have cell phones.
You got a cell phone in 9th grade? Screw you.
I did.
I was graduated before I got a cell phone.
Yeah, I got a little flip phone in 9th grade or 8th grade. But we're the last generation that got to live life without the freedom / restraint of cell phones and the whole entire technology takeover. We remember what it was like going out on our bikes and going on adventures.
Fight each other with sticks.
Yeah, having imagination carrying us through our childhood.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we had video games and movies and all that stuff, but like,
it wasn't portable.
No.
Game Boy Color,
sure.
PS, if you want to count that, but you were very limited. You couldn't go online with them and everything.
And don't get me wrong, a large part of my most fond memories were in this basement having friends over, and we're doing Halo nights and stuff like that.
I miss those.
But me too. Nothing beats LAN parties with the friends, but
unless every single one of them's beating you and like, you suck.
But some of my more fond memories were like going out and just biking and making up like imaginary stories of what would go on, and just exploring the areas with no real plan. And like you can still do that, but
but back then the Woods Cross has been so developed since then. Like there were fucking forests, and there were probably shouldn't have been going in there, but there were plenty of like abandoned houses.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you could do stuff. You could go pretend and have a good time, and you actually had buildings and shit to pretend in.
I remember until 2002, just right over here, none of that side of this subdivision area was all open field. And the road, actually, there's a church right over here. If you guys are familiar with Woods Cross, I'm sorry, this is really specific, but there's a church. There used to just be a dirt road that would connect these two neighborhoods.
Okay, let's start giving you an address. So
1600 West, Woods Cross, U2.
I remember there's a dirt road that connected them.
And then it was just fields until you got over to 1100 North, where like you can go to like FedEx and stuff.
Yeah, like FedEx. Was it Yellow Fox? Was the leather
Yellow
company?
Fox.
Spent a lot of time there.
Yeah.
Not for any reason anyone might assume. My dad got really into leather work at one point, so we like made our own like chaps and everything.
Yeah. No. Yep. I wonder what happened. They went out of business.
They sold out.
They did.
They sold out to a company in Salt Lake.
Hey, well, good for them. I hope they got paid well.
I wasn't happy, man. Leather prices like tripled when we went out there. I'm like, this is stupid, Dad. I'm not buying stuff here anymore.
True. But I just, we got to experience life before, having information in our pockets, but which is good and bad. But I think we're going to be, and we, on the flip side, we were the first generation to get that. We were the first generation on social media, the first generation to really take over the internet. And I think we're going to be looked at as like the, not to sound arrogant, but I think we're going to be looked at as the pioneers when we're like 60 and 70, because we were the last ones to do everything pre-phone.
I hope we're looked at like that. I feel more like they're going to look at us and be like, man, you guys had no clue what you were doing. You had no clue what you were going to be capable of.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean,
I can say it. I love having the phones and everything, but you got to respect your parents.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, like, my kids start acting up. I'm like, hey, here's a tablet. Turn something on the TV. I need a minute. Our parents didn't have that.
Yeah.
Our parents had, shit, there's 6 of you. What?
Right.
What are we going to do? Go outside and beat each other with sticks.
Yeah. I think, I not to brag, but I think my parents got lucky, but also cursed. They wanted a bigger family, and all they got was me. So,
you live in Utah. I don't know if your fiance's up for this polygamy. Okay?
Polygamy.
If not, don't come after me.
Right.
Ciao.
Ciao with me. No, and it was one of those things where my parents didn't ever have to fight me on stuff too much, but, looking back, how many people did you know around here that were only children? 1 or 2, maybe?
I'll be honest, I didn't know you were an only child till like 11th grade.
Yeah.
You don't assume anyone's an only child in Utah.
Because it's just so...
Everyone has... Like, I remember... I can't remember who it was in high school, but they're like, yeah, it's just me and my sister. I'm like...
There's only 2 of you?
What?
Yeah.
Were the others kidnapped? Was it a taken situation where your dad didn't succeed? What?
Are they over in Europe? No.
There's only 2 left at home. Okay.
Yeah. It was fascinating growing up as an only child, because you talk to other people who have siblings your age and they're like, it sucks, we're always fighting. But then when you graduate and you move into adulthood and you're like, it's awfully lonely if you don't have a good friend group, because you don't have that family to be around. And I make jokes about it all the time and make people super uncomfortable. And I'll be talking about, me and my siblings went out and did this. I'm like, oh yeah, me and my brother. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's...
I got 2 if you want to borrow one.
Yeah. I remember James a little bit.
So I got James and Curtis. Me and James actually hated each other. We could not be in the same room with each other until I think I was 20.
Really?
We could not stand each other. Like, we were at each other's throats so often, like physical fighting.
Was it just like a...
What? So we were 17 months apart, and then we were in the same room till we were 12 and 13. And we just hated each other.
Right.
One, because everyone assumed that we were each other. Everyone compared us to each other. I don't know why. We just hated each other until both of us started bow hunting.
Really?
For some reason, you hand us actual weapons we could kill each other with. And we're like, hey, buddy, you're my best friend now.
That's kind of fascinating. So do you think it was just actually like the bonding of going and doing something super difficult like bow hunting? And
it might have been, because he'd done it for 2 years before then, and I'd seen him doing it, and he just was having so much fun. I went, I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
And I started it, and I was like, I don't want anything to do with him. And I just was talking to him one day at a family gathering about it, and I was like, hey, how does this work? Why does this happen this way? And we just bonded like crazy. Like one of us was just like, hey, I'm gonna go out looking for deer tomorrow morning. Do you want to come with me? And ever since then, like I was a lot closer with all my other siblings. Couldn't stand being there with him. Now, I don't care much for my other siblings. A couple of them, it's easier to be with. I'm like, I love being with James.
That's kind of a fascinating experience that, you know, because I completely understand that, right? When you're getting compared to somebody and you almost like, you know, people get you confused with them. Like it's like a identity thing. You're like, no, I'm me. So I could definitely see how the resentment would get built on both sides.
Oh yeah.
But to have it get broken down by something like,
I think the funniest one that I had that happened to him, he was me, right? If I can say words. It was a senior year when I did the talent show with Sheldon, Brian, and Tonga. And we did the dancing and everything. God, and I was going to bring that stuff too, because I'll bring that up because there's a funny story at the end of that. But yeah, he went to Winder's class right after the assembly. And he's like, he came up to me after school. He's like, I hate you so much. What have you done? I'm like, I don't know what I do. What do you mean? He goes, I walk into class and everyone's like, dude, we didn't know you could do that. Damn, bro, you're good. And I'm like, in front of the whole school, and they still thought it was you. Come on, man.
Well, I may be wrong in my thinking, but I didn't think you guys looked alike. Because aren't you like quite a bit taller than him?
3-4 inches taller than him, and
noticeable though.
Yeah, it's noticeably taller. We both have beards. I hate him because his comes in a lot thicker, but it is bright ass red.
He's part of the Ginger Beard Society.
And it's funny. It's perfect right there at the top of his ears. It cuts off. It is a sharp line for ginger. So his beard may look better, but I'm like, at least I'm not a ginger, buddy.
I'm a spokesman for the Half Ginger Beard Society, so I'll send him a card and I'll be like, hey, welcome. We're always accepting members. There's no fee.
I found one red hair in my beard once.
I got a gray hair.
Lucky.
Blew my mind. I was like, what? No.
I'll be honest. When I get older, I don't know why I think this would. I want to get like the gray ass hair and beard, and then I'm gonna start wearing suits like Zack Snyder.
Oh yeah.
Because I think he looks
good.
He's
killing it.
When that happens, you'll see my style change.
They say there's three life events that every man looks forward to: losing their virginity, having kids, growing a gray beard. And I feel like those are the steps to happiness. I feel like that's because
I can't argue with any of that.
There's something about having a nice gray or white beard where you're just
even salt and pepper beard. Yeah, there's something distinguished about it. Like you feel like people are gonna look at you and be like, you know what you're talking about.
It screams like respect.
Oh yeah.
You know, just like he's experienced, but he's also cultured.
He knows. He knows.
What's up, Nino? One of 3 boys. What do you mean? So funny enough, shouts out to Tonga. He was, I believe, the first Twitch subscriber on our channel.
Oh, hell yeah, Tonga.
Way back in the day. I don't know if he gets around to listening to these anymore, but I was that blew our minds. We're like, oh my God, like our first sub. Yeah.
But, he went far. Like, he still does a lot of dances.
Yeah,
he went far. And he's good. I'll be honest, back when I was still dancing, I was pretty jealous of where he got to.
Dude, he's super talented.
Because me and Sheldon, we met probably the most infamous b-boy from... B-boy is like the correct break dancer terminology for anyone. His name's B-boy Slinky.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Fucking phenomenal guy. If you ever got the chance to meet him, super humble, super... just nicest guy ever. And we introduced Tonga to him. And we were like learning a little bit from him. Well, then Tonga and him just became best friends, and Tonga started getting real good. And we're like, okay, that's cool, buddy.
I don't know Slinky personally, but I had said hi to him once when he came to Woods Cross because I think I was around you guys at some point. I don't know what it was. And then I've followed him on Facebook and Instagram and now TikTok since then. He's he's just a down to earth dude, and he is so
he's great at what he
talented.
does, and he's funny.
Yeah, he's a funny dude.
I can't tell you how many times after we'd go do like practices at South Davis Rec Center, because I knew the manager over there before he retired, and he let us go up above the ice rink all the time, and we go from there and we go to McDonald's on 5th South and stay there for like 3 hours, so it'd be past midnight. We'd just be playing jokes on each other.
It's so weird to hear. I want to hear more of these stories because since I've followed, I don't remember if it was your Snapchat or Sheldon's or someone. I used to see you guys hanging out above the ice rink all the time. And I don't know if it was like an Instagram or a Snapchat or Facebook or whatever. It might have
been a little bit of both.
But it's so funny to me to hear the stories of stuff that I remember seeing.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of fun stuff that happened up there, and there was a couple of times that we thought we were going to the hospital with people. Like, do you remember JJ Bartleson?
Yeah.
So one time, me and him were there, and I'd bought like weight room, like pads that you put down, they look like puzzle pieces or whatever.
Yeah.
Took him there, and I was like, if we're gonna try flips, I want some type of padding instead of concrete. Well, I went to try and do a front flip, and as my foot went to leave the ground, it took the pad with me.
Ooh.
So my face came into the pad, and my butt hit the back of my head, and I rolled out and woke up. And I looked over at JJ. I'm like, dude, how long have I been laying here? He's like, 3 or 4 minutes.
Oh.
And I'm like, you didn't think? He's like, I thought you were just kind of chilling, like you might have been hurt. I'm like, you didn't think to ask.
He could have broken your neck, and he's just sitting there chilling. I could have been
dead, and he just would. He's like, well, as soon as you started talking, I knew you were okay. I'm like, there were minutes, dude.
He was minutes. He was straight up just not concerned. He's like, I'll walk it off.
So I found out 2 years ago what happened in that, because I've been able to pop my back pretty easily ever since. Never thought anything of it. Went to the chiropractor, and he's looking at my back, and he goes, what the fuck did you do? I'm like, well, what do you mean? He goes, okay, so your vertebrae on an X-ray are supposed to look like a perfect square. He's like, there's one that the bottom corner is cut out of, and there's one that the top corner is cut out of. He's like, it looks like you high speed slammed your butt to the back of your head. I'm like, I did.
Oh, I did do that. Gosh, you had legit damage.
He's like, part of your vertebrae are gone. He's like, why didn't you do anything about this? I'm like, I don't know.
Were you in pain at all?
No.
Huh.
I remember waking up the next day, like popping my shoulders. I was like, I felt better than usual, but never felt pain or anything. It wasn't until the doctor's looking at it, he's like, shit, dude.
You got problems.
He's like, there's something wrong here. I'm like, man, I'm glad I stopped doing that.
You're right. Well, what's up, Go Eagles? I've always been curious, because I know that Sheldon, Shell Shock, the boy, he still does.
He still does it. As far as I know, me and him had a falling out about 2 years ago. It was definitely my fault. Long story short, we got in an argument in like a big group chat, and I have this issue that people don't like, that I like to tell shit as I see it. And I straight up told him, like, dude, I don't think your marriage is gonna last. All I know, it's a fucking terrible thing to say. And I don't know if it was that part that pissed him off the most, or the fact that no one stood up for his marriage, because everyone kind of had the same thought. But we haven't talked much since then. I mean, I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I hope he has a great life. I know they're still together. I know they're happy. I don't want that to change. I want them to prove me wrong.
Good.
But like, I know he still does it. I've seen a lot of his recent videos. He is really good.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot better over the years.
The last dance battle I had was against him. And I won
that. Taking W's.
Yep.
I'm curious where it all started, because like I remember in high school I was always playing like basketball and stuff in lunch, and then you and Keenan and Sheldon and the twins,
sometimes Tonga.
Yeah, sometimes Tonga. You guys would dance kind of in that little hallway between the
right there in front of the girls' locker room.
What was it that started you guys down that path? Because like b-boying it's not necessarily that it's like not popular in Utah, but it's definitely not something that is more typical.
Yeah, I feel like it's gotten more typical since then, maybe. But so, how was it started? I can't remember. Can't remember. It was 10th. It might have been 11th grade, or just the start of 11th grade. Because I like hung out with them a little bit, but I wasn't like super close with that group at that time. And I remember Keenan just was like, they were talking about the talent show for that year. They're like, hey, my uncle used to do breakdancing, back in the 80s. What if we had him teach us so we could go do a talent show in 11th grade? And they were all talking amongst themselves. I was like, hey, if you guys do, can I come? And that blew their minds that I asked if I could. Because I always thought breakdancing was cool. I never thought I'd be able to do it. And like, oh, hell yeah, dude, if you're coming, let's do it. So we went to his uncle's house, and we went to Bountiful Park, to the big vestibule. And he taught us pretty much the basics. It was like a top rock, which is just like crossing your feet, opening your arms back and forth. Six step, which is like your basic groundwork that you can go into anything. And a backspin, which is like you kick your legs, you just try and hold it in the center of your back, and you spin around on your back as much as possible. And that was basically how we started. Was he just started teaching us that, and then the next thing he taught us was, okay, here's how you do a burn move. And he's like, you pretend like you're grabbing their face, you eat it, and then you shit it out and throw it back in their face. And he was like teaching us how to like move your body to do that, and we just started from there. Then we just would go on YouTube and just randomly and be like, hey, look up different footwork, different top rock, and we'd each learn a different thing and then come and show the other guys. Till eventually we got to the point where we'd be like, man, we need to like practice battle against each other. There's a channel that Abraham Rodriguez, if you remember him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fucking love that guy.
Yeah, he's a
best dude. Sorry, but best dude ever.
No, I totally get it.
If you ever can get him on here, please do.
Yeah.
I know he has so many stories and secrets and shit that I want him to. Cause he is quiet.
Oh, he's always been
He's quiet, but he's observant.
He was always the quiet, but to me, it's funny you bring him up because I've seen him on social media,
he's working for like a motorcycle company.
Yeah, in my eyes, when you think of a sweet person, it was him all the way through school.
Dude, I straight up asked him because he was always hanging out with our friend group like all the time, just super quiet. Would put his opinion every once in a while. I straight up asked him like, why do you hang out with us? And I was like, don't say that. I'm like, no. What can you guys tell me about him besides his name and the fact that he's sweet and quiet? His car's purple.
Yeah.
And I literally, he's like, I don't know, you guys seem all right. That's pretty chill. I spent the rest of that night asking, it was like a first date. I was like, what is your favorite color? What are your life goals? Why do you have the car you have? What's your honest opinion of it?
Right.
And I learned so much that night while everyone else is doing stuff. I'm like, dude, you were like the most amazing person.
Because your group was actually really big for a time period. Because you had
10, 12 of us.
Yeah, because you had both twins, but you also had Ashley and Stephanie who were twins. Keenan, Abraham, Sheldon, yourself, Andres
was there. His wife was there off and on.
Yeah.
Joni Peters was there off and on some.
I don't think I ever met her.
She might be a year younger than us.
Yeah.
She was married to Robbie Peters, so
if
you remember Robbie.
Oh, okay.
She's married
Robbie
to him.
Was my neighbor forever. Yeah.
I can't remember what her original last name was, but yeah, she was there quite a bit. And then Lily Adams, who lived up there, and she was there quite a bit. And then whoever had girlfriends or boyfriends was coming in and out too.
Yes, I mean your group was very vast. Has everyone is there much of a group left, or everyone kind of just gone and done there?
As far as I'm aware, like I think Sheldon still talks to some of them. I don't know I think they hang out once in a while. I know Keenan and the twins still hang out. Mm-hmm. They do some video editing together. Last I knew. Then like the girls, they all still hang out together.
Right.
I talk to them when I can, but I got 3 kids, a job, doing my YouTube thing. I don't have a whole lot of time.
No, and that's the fascinating thing about as you get older, you really start to. It's not that you don't want to spend time, but it's literally making hard. Time is tough.
It is.
You know,
especially when you have your goals, your ambitions, whatever.
Yeah.
It's hard to find the time.
Yeah.
Except for you telling me to come on this. I'm like, done. I'm coming. I had so much fun last time.
Well, I really hope for me, like, that's kind of one of my other side goals with the podcast. Obviously, I want to get it to a point where I can do this, like, full time, like, put my full effort into it. But I want to get a bunch of these people who are around here on. Because I just, like, you know, I know Keenan is probably going to be a great director. You know, that's his life. From last time
I'm excited that's what he wants.
Yeah, that's what he wanted to do, and I know that he'll succeed in that. Like, I don't think I ever really had a full conversation with the twins. I would love to hear the story of how the one got pushed into a bar in elementary because they played a game where they had stilled the football.
I don't remember that one. I know I got pushed into a bar in elementary.
What was yours?
Mine was in kindergarten. I was chasing a kid around that had actually stolen a football from me.
Oh.
Back when they had the bars that like went up every couple inches, and I slammed right into the like middle bar in between them, and it looked like I had a softball in my head, and I was out of school for a week.
Because I remember that. Sorry if you guys listen. I don't remember. I can't identify you guys in my mind from kids of Brian or Blake, but.
As little kids in elementary, I couldn't tell the
difference. It was difficult.
Even in high school, when I was first hanging out with them, I would kind of stare at them and be like,
"Yeah,
I got a 50% chance of
shooting in the dark."
Hey, I remember at first I'd just be like, "Hey, B,
yeah,
how you doing, B?"
And you can't get it wrong.
Exactly.
But I remember that they had taken the football one day and always turned into big chases, right? And I think that was like the fun goal. Like, even though when we were playing football, everyone was like, I got mad about it, but it was kind of like we were at the chase.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember who it was, chased one of them down up at the top where like the batting cages were.
Oh, yeah.
And shoved him, and like his whole head hit like one of the corners of the fences up there, and it messed him up pretty bad from what I remember. And then there was no more grabbing the football.
I want to say Blake, but I'm probably wrong.
Yeah. But see, stuff like that I think would just be fun to... Yeah, school stories, go Eagles.
Stories.
It'd be fun to, like, have people on because, like, there's so many names that come to my mind where I'm like, I wonder what they thought. Like, I would love to get, like...
Even people, not to steal from your stuff, but, like if I tell a story, I love to have one of them come on and tell their version of that story. It's because I want to hear their perspective of it.
It's fascinating. Like, I've had conversations on and off the podcast about perspectives of who I was, and then the groups of people that I hung out with in high school and out of high school.
I have to agree with Cole when he was on. He's like, dude, everyone knew you. Everyone knew who Wes was. Wes was a cool guy. I can't think of anyone that'd be like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
How dare he be a single child? I mean, I don't remember ever hearing anything negative about you. If the craziest thing I heard was people being like, oh yeah, man, Wes is holding fights. He's holding fights in Foxborough.
Yeah.
We're all going.
That was I always, and I still do, try to make myself very just someone who people could be easy to talk to with. Like, very
approachable.
Yeah, I just want to be able to have conversations and learn from individuals. And I feel like I thought that at a young age because I was like, well, the only way that it really kind of sprouted from being an only child, because there's two routes you go as an only child. You're weird and you don't know how to socialize because you don't have people around you, or you get really good at socializing because you don't want to be alone. So I learned like how to make friends super young because I didn't want to be stuck at home. Yeah. You know,
you were a kid. You didn't have great technology. You wanted to get outside.
Exactly. Like, and I remember. Do you remember names like Austin Radmall? You thought of that name since for 15 years. He used to live down here. He moved away like right before junior high.
Is he like a smaller, like blonde kid?
No, he was kind of taller for our age. Like,
oh no.
I think he had brown hair.
Is he the one obsessed with Star Wars?
I think so, yeah. And he played football.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah,
like I remember because he taught our third grade class to sing the Yoda song.
Yes.
I haven't thought about it
right?
forever.
I have him on Facebook now. He's married and lives in Oregon. Like, stuff like that. Like, it'd be just cool to talk with him. Like, do you remember Creighton?
The name sounds familiar.
He was one of my best friends, and I think he's married now, and I don't know where he lives. He might live in St. George. They moved to St. George when going into high school.
Dang.
You know, there's just a bunch of people where I'm like, man, I just wonder. We all started in this area, right? For the most part.
It's just crazy to see where everyone's gone.
Yeah. What about like Jeff Muir? What is he up to? I know that he owns the sharpening place.
I didn't know he owned the sharpening place.
He works there. I don't know if he owns it, but
I know I hung out with him a little bit at the start of 10th grade.
Yeah.
It was me, him, and Nathan Sutherland.
Yeah, Nathan.
Nathan's doing good.
Yeah.
I know Jeff like does a lot of like outdoor stuff, does a lot of hunting and such.
I don't
meaning to reconnect with him because I'd be like, man, that'd be a fun guy to go out hunting with and such.
Exactly. I had a fascinating experience that was catered by Nathan. I was actually looking for an opportunity to go to Japan and teach English.
Mm-hmm.
And his wife is from Japan, and she's a
translator for that.
Yeah.
She does I always describe her as are you happy with this? Like, does this make you feel happy when she's going through people's homes?
Oh, yeah.
She's a like main translator for that.
Yeah.
For that lady.
Yeah, she does translations and interpreter. Is that?
She's an interpreter. I guess that's the best way to say it.
And he actually reached out, or she did, and they had an opportunity with a lady who was some sort of, I don't know if it was like a principal, or I can't remember the exact. It's been a while, but she came and interviewed me and my friend. Sadly, we didn't get the opportunity.
You still got the interview.
I still got the interview, and
how far do you have to go just to do that?
Yeah,
and that's awesome.
They, it was so fascinating to even go to their house, go to his. I don't know if it was his wife at the time, but their house, because it was so beautiful, and just to be able to get the opportunity to speak to someone who is in that type of position was amazing, and it was all facilitated because, I mean, I knew Nathan since kindergarten, and we never, same thing with a lot of people we've been talking about, like we never really had, never like hung out, but we knew each other.
Yeah. Me and Nathan were super close till about junior high.
Yeah.
Then we went to different junior highs and we weren't as close, but
yeah, that was a bummer. That split was weird.
Yeah. That did suck because I think the part that upset me the most was always when I'd hang out with Nathan during junior high, was I'd always hear him be like, man, there's so many cute girls at South Davis. And I just remember being like, there ain't that many. I'm like, there's a couple at Mill Creek. First day of high school, I went home with him and I was hanging out at his house. I'm like, dude, I hate you. I'm like, you guys had it so much. There's so many cuter girls at South Davis.
Yeah. It just sucked because like there was people like, it's kind of, it felt like the same thing like when you graduate high school where there's like those familiar faces that when you see them in the hallway you're like, oh hey. Mm-hmm. And like when the big split happened from elementary to junior high, I felt like I lost a lot of those like, oh hey hi connections with people. Mm-hmm. And it was just a bummer because then when we got to high school, right, everyone's already formulated their groups for the most part, and like,
nah, dude, I remember I saw you first day. I was like, what?
Yeah. And like, there's a lot of people who went the full LDS path, and I would love to chat with them too. Mm-hmm. Kind of see how transitioning from out of high school into a mission and coming back, like how life has treated them. Mm-hmm. Because like I talked with Cole, right? Vastly different outlook than someone like Cannon, who I believe is married with a kid or two now.
He's in the military. I want to say he's in Georgia.
Cannon Nichols.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he was military too.
Yeah. Cannon Nichols is the only reason I know that is because he came through my work the one day when I was cashiering, and he comes through and I recognized him instantly. I'm like, that's Cannon.
Yeah.
He looked. He aged a little bit, but he looked
same.
If you saw him in high school and you saw him now,
you'd be like,
obvious,
"Oh, that's Cannon." Yeah,
it's Cannon. And he's kind of staring at me. He's like, "Cody." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm the dude you checked out in body conditioning class." He's like, "Oh, how are you doing?" And we chatted for a minute. He's like, "Yeah, buying some flowers and some chocolates for my wife. It's our anniversary. We have a kid." And he's like, "I'm heading out to." He was telling me he was being deployed out somewhere, or just being moved bases or something. And I was like, and I think it was right after, because this has been a couple of years, I think it was right after I actually found your podcast really and started listening to everything. So I was like, man, I talked to Ken. I want to hear about more people.
Yeah, and that's what I love. That's what I've been loving lately is like, even if it doesn't turn into like a long-term friendship, I'm sure a lot of people would love to come and just like talk.
Try it.
Because like there's so many stories that I would have never heard unless I hear people's perspectives. And like, for example, on Cole's episode, we were talking a little bit about, you know, people we knew in high school who went down different paths, and then Corey Gerard got brought up. Shouts out. I know you listen sometimes. And he ended up messaging me asking if we could talk, and I talked to him for like an hour and a half. And now when one of us ends up in the same neighborhood, we'll go get dinner or something. But it's just, you know, you forget people who you were peers with and friends with, and something like a social media platform is allowed for some of those to rekindle in some sort of way.
Which I got to give you a shout out, because I went and I found that was it the Monarch Social?
Yeah.
That you went on their podcast not too long ago.
Yeah.
I went and watched that. Guys, big shout out to this man. If you want to hear how hard he has worked to make this happen, everything he's gone through, go watch that podcast, go listen to it, whatever. Oh, he's got cards here.
I'm a business card, boys.
Go check it out. Listening to him talk about that, I gotta applaud you, because it was amazing to listen to his journey. Listen to him give them advice. I knew as soon as I heard that, I'm like, 12. When I'm there, I'm giving him a shout out.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You have worked hard and you've earned it.
I think that
you are the next Rogan. I'm convinced of it. It's gonna happen.
Dice roll.
Actually, Rogan's gonna be like, I'll be the next Westman. That's how it's gonna go down.
I like Rogan a lot. It was weird because I've watched a lot of Rogan, not recently. I just kind of fell off because I realized if I take in too many other podcasts, my opinions might sound similar. Mm-hmm. So I've actually avoided listening to a lot of podcasts now because I don't want to take people who I either look up to or enjoy their content. Right. I don't want to subconsciously take their ideas.
Well, I don't know, like with my YouTube stuff, like I watch a lot of other outdoors vlogs and say everything, and maybe you agree with this same thing I do, is I'll see it and I'll be like, I like that idea, but I don't want to take that exact idea of how they did that, because I don't want my videos on YouTube to be a mix and mash if you go look at enough of them. Right. I want it to be, I like what you did, but I'm going to tweak it to what I want.
Yes.
I don't know if that's how you feel about it, like you...
Absolutely, and that's kind of why I decided to step away from watching Joe Rogan as much, is I really like what he does. And I always make the joke, I'm the Kroger brand version of Joe Rogan. Because that's what I want. I want to be able to interview people.
I like Kroger brand a lot better than most stuff.
You know, some people do, and that's what I'm trying to capture. But
maybe great value, actually.
Yeah, great value. But, like, I want to be able to give, you know, when you watch, like, someone like Rogan now, the only people that are on there are extremely famous. Mm-hmm. You know, which is cool, because we would never hear those people talk. But on a platform like this, I want the individuals who are grinding on YouTube to be able to come on and talk about it. Mm-hmm. I want people who are, you know, have a wild story that they want to tell about how, like Cole Cook's story. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've had so many people reach out to me and say how important that episode was to them because they also had similar feelings.
I can give you this. All your episodes kind of like his with the LDS transition. I have a family member who's been going through a lot of that, and that was the first thing I recommended. I'm like, dude, this guy, listen to these podcasts. Go watch his podcasts. Listen to them. They're going to help you. So he wanted me to tell you thank you for doing those, because they've helped him. He hasn't decided which way he's going, but he's like, it's nice to hear I'm not the only one going through it. He's like, it's nice to hear someone say it.
Yeah, and I think that's why that opportunity came about, because Cole came into a couple of my friends' lives, and he was willing to come and talk about it. And I didn't realize that I was fascinated myself, because I was just curious what led him to that point. Mm-hmm. But to get a bunch of feedback from people saying, like, hey, like, I went through those same things, whether they ended up staying or leaving, like, it's nice to hear that I wasn't the only one.
Nice to not be alone.
Yeah, and it... Deej, what's up, man? He says Kroger peanut butter with honey is the shit.
Which brand of honey, though? Are we still sticking with Kroger?
Man, Kroger's got some good...
Kroger does got some good stuff.
But, yeah, I just think there's so many people who want to chat.
I think there's a lot of people
who don't get the opportunity.
I think it'd be very good, not only for you to hear the stories and it help other people. But I think it's almost like a therapy.
Yeah.
I enjoy it's only my second time here, but I was so excited like all day long.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. I'm so excited.
I'm glad you enjoy it. And it's nice to hear positive feedback. Not that I don't ever get...
Well, like I said, I am very blunt. A lot of people don't like that about me. If I have issues, I'll just say it.
Yeah.
I don't like it when people just kind of BS around. I'm like, I'd rather you just know. And dude, you're doing a great job. You're helping a lot of people. You're doing awesome.
Thank you.
Just keep going at it.
Shouts out to everyone who's been watching lately. The views have been good.
Shouting me out, yeah.
And yeah, of course. I mean,
I'm sitting there with YouTube on, constantly listening to them.
Well,
dude, your Legends Night, man, that
Legends Night was wild.
I love your podcast, but that took me a couple days because I was like, I can only do so much of this at a time.
3 hours of just the wildest shit is tough to get through a night.
Yeah, I mean, it's all entertaining. So if you guys haven't listened to it or watched it, go do it. But I think I did it in like hour segments.
Yeah,
I'm like, all right, I gotta.
I want to. The problem is like, and why I'm super excited to get to a point somewhere down the line where I can do this full time is I want to be able to break up episodes like that into like 15, 20-minute clips of like the funny parts because like it's hard.
You're gonna have a lot of clips from that one.
Yeah, I always tell people I'm like, I get it. Like it's 3 hours long. I don't blame you. Like. I would not jump into a podcast that was 3 hours long and I never listened to. So I want to do more clips, but
dude, it was funny. Yeah, like I was cracking up listening to the whole thing, but
that was a good episode.
Yeah, you're pound it, bro.
Oh my god. The story that haunted me for a while.
Dude. I went up to a coworker after hearing that. And something like great happened. I was like, yeah, dude, pound it. I just. They're like, why was that funny? You go listen to Topshelfers podcast Legends Night. You will fully understand, and you'll meet the dude and be like, pound it.
Pound it. It happened to me twice after that episode got posted. I was like,
yeah, pound it.
Damn it, it's back. But no, it's just. I think for me too, podcasting was therapeutic because I don't know if you felt this way. I mean, I know that you grew up with land that you worked on, so maybe you didn't have this problem. But I felt like after high school, I did a lot of things that I thought I was supposed to do to please people who I thought I was supposed to please, meaning like school, work, and different things like that. And it took me a long time to realize that I was doing things for the wrong reasons. And when Forrest and I really sat down and were like, yeah, let's do it, I just fell in love with the fact that I'm finally doing something that I want to do for me. Mm-hmm. Like I always talked about creating content. Like I was watching YouTube when it came out, like in 7th, 8th grade. I was watching Sea Nanners in Minecraft. I was watching Machinima, and I was like, "Which is I want to do
weird
that."
To think about. That we're older than the internet.
Yeah,
that's what's gonna make us look like pioneers.
Yeah, we were. Because I mean, dial-up was like barely working when I was.
Dude, my parents had dial-up till I was in my senior year. Yeah. All right, if anyone wanted to call someone, you had to turn the internet off. Yeah. All right.
And I always wanted to create content, not because I thought I was entertaining. Not because I wanted to be famous, but because I thought it would be cool to like archive my life for me. And now it's turned into like individuals come on and it's almost like a piece of them is now archived for however long they want it to be. If they want to go back, like, you know, this is more emotional to talk about, but I really, really wanted to get my grandma on. She was like the show's first big fan, and it was she's still alive.
Okay.
But there's some stuff that happened, but it was funny. She would always like call and talk to my mom and like put me on speaker, and she's like, "Oh, I love the last episode. You guys are so funny." And then she'd be like, "Forrest is my favorite," and I'm like, "Thanks, Grandma. I'm there too." It's like he cracks me up, and I'm like, yeah,
I'm your grandson.
yeah. And you know, it was just fun. And sadly, health problems have led her to now having to be in a home, and she can't speak. And like, I wish that I could have set that up, because not only would have that been a funny episode, but it would have been
had her stories. And
it would have been like an archive, you know, because like the reality is we all know people pass away, and I don't know how much longer she has. So it would have been nice to have been like, oh yeah, this, you know, my grandkids or whatever it is, like, this was your great-great-grandmother. You know,
listen to this story that she tells about me though. But,
yeah. Well, she would have told some. She was friends with Afro Man for a period. You know, the rapper.
Okay. Oh man.
I don't know how it came about, but she always used to talk about Afro Man. I'm like Colt 45, 2 zigzags. Like, Grandma, what were you into?
Grandma was a player.
Yeah, Grandma was something. She was a
Grandma has stories.
Yeah, Grandma had a lot of stories, but
you should see like what I do with my grandpa. See if she has like a journal or something.
Yeah.
I know a lot of older people do. Like,
thankfully, I do have a lot of that stuff now.
Oh, see,
she has journals. Nothing like about stuff like that, but she also has.
You just
artwork.
haven't found those.
Yeah,
you just haven't found those journals.
But it would have been cool to do that. But I like having like, not that there's a pitch to do a podcast, but for individuals who come on, you know, it's like, hey, we're creating this content, but you can give it to people. You could be like, hey, this was me. I did this. 20 years down the road, hey, Grandma, what did you do? Oh, I did this podcast. Like, it's just, I think it's a
fun thing.
Yeah, and also I think face-to-face communication is going down. I think people are not.
You got FaceTime now. I don't have to be face-to-face.
Yeah.
I can see your face.
I think there's something that is more now, specifically that social media runs. I think there's something more intimate about having a conversation with someone who's literally within touching range versus like.
I'm not sure where you're going to touch there.
Hey man,
you're looking very deep into my eyes.
If I touch your knee and you make a noise, congratulations, because
need to change my pants.
But no, like, I think that there's like a.
There's something that's going away in the world.
Yeah.
If you get this face-to-face, like face-to-face, I can't talk. That's also what you get from face-to-face.
Mm-hmm.
You just get the emotion of it. There's something.
You can understand what I'm saying.
There's more.
You're not getting convoluted by like just letters or like a social media post. Like, you understand, like, and I think we've gotten to a point where, and this podcast stays politically neutral, and you know, it saddens me to see stuff that people will say over social media over things like politics or whatever that is, because I'm like, man, if you just sat down with whoever you're disagreeing with and had a face-to-face conversation, you could probably realistically hash out whatever differences you have and walk away.
You don't even have to end up agreeing. You can walk away. You can.
Yeah.
At least you'll have an understanding.
Some of the best conversations I've ever had in my life were with people I 100% disagreed with on opinions. And it wasn't because we argued about it. It was because I was able to learn why they thought that way. Mm-hmm. So not only do I understand their thought process, but it gives me a better perspective. It makes me more experienced, so I can understand why they might think that way.
Or instead of just maybe they have something in how they think that way that you'd be like, I never thought of that.
Exactly, and it makes it so me personally, I don't judge people as much because everyone judges. It's human nature.
I'll be honest. I see a dude just covered head to toe, skinhead, tattoos, everything. I'll be like, dude's probably a little rough. Yeah. I hear him like start singing opera. I'll be like, I was wrong.
Exactly, and I think that the more we focus on building those connections with individuals that either we don't agree with or we wouldn't ever talk to, I think is when we're going to get to a point where
it's going to help you grow.
It's going to help you grow.
You don't have to like the person, but if you can sit down, have a conversation, learn from each other, or not learn from each other,
just talk.
You're going to grow.
Yeah.
You're going to hear something.
I really think that you'd be hard pressed to talk with someone who you don't think you would have anything in common with for an hour or 2 hours. I bet you come up with something where you're like, holy shit, you like puzzles? I like puzzles too. Because there's always something that connects us back. Like, whether it's your passions or hobbies or like weird things you do or like food you like, there's always something where you're going to be like, you like that tip? You know?
Man, Taco Bell makes you blow out your asshole.
Yeah.
Me too!
But you keep going back because you hate yourself? Me too!
Do you love those Doritos Locos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about main veining Baja Blast until you can't walk anymore? Hey, everyone! But it's...
That's not a bad idea.
If I could taste it in my soul, that's the easiest way
Just
to do it. Right?
Load it up.
Load it up. No, I think that, you know, wherever this podcast ends up, I think that I will take away for the rest of my life just, I think it's made me a better person, will continue to make me a better person, because I've had people on there I fundamentally disagree with on a bunch of different things, but I leave every episode happy because I'm like, I was able to sit across from them and just talk.
I mean, I've never seen you get in like an argument on
No.
it or heard any argument. I'm like,
No.
He's just listening. He's letting them say their thing and putting in his input.
Because I think
he's not saying you're wrong. No.
I think that's where the problem is in our society right now, we hear a lot, but we aren't listening.
Yeah. Don't ask my wife about me doing that. I
The
love
wife's
you, babe.
like, oh, that sounds like someone I know.
There's a running style of memes on like hunting pages and such, and it's can't hear me yelling from 5 feet away, but can hear an elk 2 miles away and can pinpoint which tree it's next to.
Right.
There's like that kind, or can't find the ketchup in the fridge, and the only thing in the fridge is a bottle of ketchup. But you can tell me there's a deer on that side of the hill.
Just from glass.
And she hates it every time. I'm like, babe, that tree is... Shut up. Cody. Babe, there's a deer right there. I can see it.
Deej says, you like big old anime titties? Me too. No,
There's some animes that messed me up. Like,
yeah?
Yeah. So, like, just because we've gone down so many rabbit holes, I don't know if you want to go back to high school stuff.
Well, let's venture into anime, because I do an anime show. Let's talk.
So this kind of leads from high school. So what happened to me right after high school, because I like doing big stories, right? Right after high school, I got a job with Davis County Animal Control. Worked there for about 3 months. Then one day they're like, hey, we can either fire you or you can resign. And it was a 6-month probation. They didn't have to give me a reason. Well, technical reason they gave me was you have bad handwriting.
Oh.
I've heard from several people there were other reasons. All I know is that everyone that fired me or forced me to resign is still being investigated for a bunch of shit. So I got out of there in time.
Yeah, good call.
So I was there 3 months. My girlfriend had broken up with me, and I had nothing going on in life. I sat down at my computer for the next 7 to 8 months and just watched anime. I mean, I woke up at 7 in the morning and went to bed at midnight for 7 to 8 months straight, doing nothing but getting up, going to the bathroom, eating anime. That was it.
Now listen, I'm sad to hear that everything... I feel like that's just life, right? Everything like falls on at the same time, like all the bad stuff. But it sounds like you did some basement dwelling, and I'm very curious to hear, because you got to do some basement dwelling.
So I'll get back to the basement dwelling, just like I'll finish out the story, and then we can get to the dwelling. So what ended up happening was 8-month mark. I'm walking up the stairs, and I can hear my parents yelling at each other about how fucking lazy I am and how sick they are that I don't have a job or anything. 5 minutes later, you posted on Facebook asking if anyone was looking for a job because you'd give them a job at Domino's.
Really?
And I was like, that's why I messaged you, like, dude, I'll take it. So to this day, I am still eternally grateful for getting that job, because that got me off my ass and doing something. I literally did nothing. Once a week, I went and did breakdancing for 3 hours.
Right.
That was it. Yeah, so I sat down in the basement, and first thing I did was I was just like, man, what shows do I want to watch? First thing that came to mind was I've seen clips from Dragon Ball Z. I've never watched it all the way through. I watched Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT completely through. And then like had found, like, I'd never seen all of Naruto, so I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna start Naruto from the beginning. This might be against your anime podcast. Once Sasuke leaves, you can jump to the last episode and know that Naruto leaves, and you're done.
Yeah. You
don't need to watch the other 400 episodes.
Right. But Shippuden.
But yeah, so I watched that last episode, watched all of Shippuden to where it was at. Mm-hmm. Well, I watched it all in English that they had, and then I watched Japanese, which is so much better.
Way better. Show's way better in Japanese.
Naruto versus Pain. I probably watched that fight like 8 times in a row.
Oh.
That is glorious. What else did I watch? I think part of Attack on Titan was out. I'd watched Attack on Titan. I watched all of Bleach.
Yeah, Bleach is
watched Fairy Tail up through the Grand Magic Games.
See, I haven't watched any Fairy Tail. I heard it's pretty good.
Fairy Tail is great. So when you watch it, you'll watch up through till they hit what they call the 7-year gap. Right after the 7-year gap is a filler thing that's like 20 episodes. Fucking sucks. Skip it. I went over and over trying to watch it. I couldn't do it. I skipped that. The Grand Magic Games is right after that. Some of the best fighting ever.
Really?
Like, the main character in it goes against these 2 guys that are known to be, like, just beasts. Like, everyone sees them get ready for fight. Like, oh, shit's going down. Main character beats the shit out of them like it's nothing. And I'm sitting there watching like, fucking
let's go!
Like, I'm yelling. Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, like, I just sat down for months and just watched anime. And that's all I did. And it sounds great to a point.
Yeah, I get where you're going with it.
You can only do so much.
Yeah, I think that, anime, and I'm curious your opinion on this. I remember growing up, so I got into anime fairly young because my dad was into Dragon Ball Z and Cowboy Bebop. And I didn't tell people I was into anime because anime in our growing up was kind of similar to video games where it was like...
It's like taboo.
Yeah, it was still like, oh, you're a fucking nerd. And if you like anime, you're a weirdo. Now, dude, not only does everyone play video games, but anime is the most popular thing in the world right now.
Well, like,
which is fascinating.
Because I was with Andres, Nathan, and Douglas Sharma, if you remember Douglas.
Oh, I remember Douglas.
So it was...
God, I haven't thought of that guy forever.
He just got married.
Really?
Last year, I believe.
Wasn't
I remember right.
Sidetrack? Wasn't he didn't he compete in Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic or Pokemon?
So we all, me, Andres, and him, from the time we were like 7, whenever we got our first Yu-Gi-Oh decks, every Saturday went out to Game Den in Taylorsville till we were 13.
Oh,
and did Yu-Gi-Oh competitions. Douglas just continued it. I think he gave it up when he was 22. Really? Like, he was going to like Anaheim and World Champion. Like, he was.
Oh, so he was like good. High level.
He was doing really good at it. So he did really good. Yeah, like growing up because it was us. Every Saturday we watched Yu-Gi-Oh. We watched Pokemon. Just kind of like that stuff, like Jack Chan Adventures.
Oh my god, it was so fucking good.
So good. But yeah, we watched it like every Saturday. We'd have sleepovers. We'd sit there playing like Pokemon Emerald or whatever game. We'd sit there playing that all night. We'd play Yu-Gi-Oh all night. We always collected the Pokemon cards, but we never knew how to fucking play.
Yeah.
I know how to play now because my nephew wanted to learn.
Yeah.
Most weird ass game.
Yeah, because you do like the 6 prizes and.
Yeah. I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh is even more difficult now.
Oh, I tried to dabble into Yu-Gi-Oh like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, because I played Pokemon for quite a while. I stopped. I played Magic in 8th grade and 9th grade, and then after high school, stopped. I'm playing it again now, funny enough. At Dark Prime Collectibles, shout out to the sponsor.
I'm going to play with you sometime, so.
And then I tried Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was trying Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh my lord.
Dude, that shit. So, I did it until I was 13. I'm pissed at myself now, 12, 13, because at that point I decided girls won't like me if I have these cards. So I threw all that shit away. I had a first edition fucking Shadowless Charizard.
That's big money.
Yeah. I mean, it was in shitty condition, but that's still big money.
Hey, a PSA 5 still goes for like 13 grand right now.
Yeah. So I'm pissed at myself. I threw it all away. Well, then I think I was 21 and I decided I wanted to try Yu-Gi-Oh again. I was doing competitions of that recently. Oh, did you get them graded yet?
We got bricks, boys. No, they're getting sent in soon.
Oh, nice.
A lot of these are the new ones. I don't really. But I got Charizards. Boys.
Got a couple of Charizards, newer ones, but not.
Hey, newer ones are still popular.
It's like my daughter's super into it, and I'm like, hey, this gives Daddy an excuse. So.
I love it. You come home with like $300 Pokemon. Yeah, I bought the daughter something.
Yeah, because that didn't happen.
Hey, we take the wins where we can take them.
Yeah, I did Yu-Gi-Oh a couple years ago. I was doing a lot of competitions with that. I went to a state level Yu-Gi-Oh.
Really?
I think I took 20th. A lot better than I
Yeah,
thought. The only reason I took 20th was because we started at 8 in the morning and it was 9:30 at night, and they still had 3 more rounds to go, and I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah, that's a long.
I'm
day.
like, there is enough BO in this room. No offense, but that's big of a room with that many. There was like 300 people at this place.
There's
some of them don't shower much as it is, but then you have that many of them that close that long. It was.
There's something just really strange when you go to either card gaming events on that grand a scale or like cons, like gaming or Comic-Con. Because, man, not only is there always sickness that goes around, but it definitely has a scent that is not appealing.
It's not one you can... It's not BO, but BO and something.
It's like a mixture of, like, I don't know. It's
right?
not
you
great.
Can't describe
yeah,
it.
It's not great.
It is not enjoyable. Well, the gaming's enjoyable, but once you can really start smelling, you're like...
It smells like if you, like, covered your body in BO, but then, like, didn't shower for a day and then ran a marathon. That's what, like, a convention smells like after, like, 2 days.
I just figured out how I'm going to win the Boston Marathon. Just got to stand in the front smelling like that.
And they're like...
First deep breath.
I'm done.
I actually, in 2nd grade, I saw the 6th graders were playing Magic, and I convinced my parents to go buy me a starter deck number 7. So I had a Magic starter deck, and I went and started playing Magic with them in 2nd grade, and I actually beat one of the better people with this deck. And I still remember to this day this kid looking at me and going, dude, you're good. And he looked at his buddy, dude, you suck. You've never done as good as him.
You know what's weird about Magic now is they've changed the format. Well, there's multiple formats now.
I like what Magic does, though, is like for their, I think, what is it called, Standard?
Yeah.
Where you're only allowed to go back so far to use cards. I love that. Now, I wish...
Yeah. Now, here's the thing that, because since COVID, a lot of places aren't doing anything, but Magic has all gone online for Standard play. So they have Magic Arena, which is like their online thing, which I've been playing a lot lately, but a lot of places now play Commander.
I haven't tried Commander. I know that it's like 100 card deck. You're supposed to be able to like spam the board a lot quicker.
It's 100
on what you do.
It's 100 card deck. You can only have one copy of every card unless it like specifically says, like, there's like 5 cards in the whole entire Magic world that say like you can have multiple ones, but you can only have one unique card, and then you have a commander, and it has to be a legendary creature. And basically how it works is like your deck's here, your commander's here, so when you get the mana to bring your commander in, you can bring him in at any point. And then if he dies, he goes back to that spot. He just costs 2 more mana each time he dies to bring back out.
Okay, so that's not too complicated.
The problem that I have with it so far is, since I've been out of Magic for close to 10 years, I don't know what 90% of these cards do anymore. So when you're playing with a bunch of vets who've been playing
since the 80s,
you know, they're like throwing out all these combos, and I'm like, what do those cards do? You know, because I don't know. I don't know what any of the cards do anymore.
Like a bunch of my buddies at work, when we have to do inventory, because we show up at like 6:30 at night and we're there till 2 in the morning to do it. If we find out, hey, we're working the same schedule, lunch break, these are the criteria for the deck you can bring.
Yeah.
Which makes it a lot of fun, because last time it was, you cannot have more, like it was, you have to have a minimum of 3 mana, like 3 different colors. You cannot have more than 2 of any individual creature or spell, and everything has to be a common rank.
Oh, okay. So you can't have like big boy, like...
Yeah, I'm like, so pretty much everything's like 1 1s and 1 2s.
Yeah.
So everything, so much fun.
Yeah. That's what I...
Like, I think I did like green, red, and blue.
Yeah.
And I did mostly like a burn deck. I think I had 1 creature and a whole shitload of common like burns, and I just sat there burning them the whole time.
See, I think that's what's super, no pun intended, magical about Magic, is that you can...
No, there's a pun. Doesn't matter if you said no pun intended. It is a pun.
is it kind of captures that old like
small of leftover Panda Express. Yes, that is so true.
Yeah, that is a good comparison to what conventions smell like. You're like,
why Panda Express though?
Yeah.
Why is it always Panda Express?
I don't know. It's just something about it. But there's something about Magic where like, because Pokemon, yeah, you can play it a bunch of different ways, but really there's only one way to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm not as familiar, but there's pretty much only one way to play it.
You can try and play it the anime way, but with how cards are made nowadays for it, it's cheap. Or you can do how I do and play with my nephews, and I'm like, I just have cards that work. You guys can't play cards like that.
Yeah. And then there's Magic, where you can really can have fun making your own rules.
But
Mike says just get the Pot of Greed.
Oh, dude.
And then I play Pot of Greed and draw 2 additional cards. Right. And then your next 2 additional cards are just more Pots of Greed.
Right. I saw this video. They had the original voice actors for Yugi and Kaiba. They voiced over this duel that these guys played in real life. They had it was like a, what do you want to call it? Like a stage duel.
Yeah.
And at one point they go, I played Pot of Greed. You hear the entire audience, boo! You see the voice actors cracking up, and all the Konami people are laughing. Just boo! Fuck you, Pot of Greed!
Have you gone back and tried to watch the anime?
I have.
Is it any good?
It's not as good as it was when you watched it when you were young.
Okay.
Like I've. It's like I don't know if I should pride myself on this or not. I will anyway. Especially because again with my wife, she can be like, "You're such a nerd." I'm like, our child's watching it with me.
Yeah.
Like I've rewatched all like the original Yu-Gi-Oh. I've watched the first 5 different generations of it, and holy shit, it got complicated quick.
Yeah.
I think about Generation 3 is when I was like, okay.
I fell off. Where did I fall off?
So there's Duel Monsters, then GX, 5Ds, Zexal.
I think I fell off on 5Ds because that was when they started doing a lot of
the synchros.
Yeah.
I still liked the synchros when I was playing, but
yeah.
I don't know. At that point, now there's like 7 different types of monster cards. So I'm like, no, too complicated.
Yeah, it seems difficult to get into. I did go back, so I went back and watched all of Pokemon up until I don't know. I watched like the first like couple hundred that were like the OG Pokemon. I tried to get into Yu-Gi-Oh, and it was just I don't remember it being as over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Like
the first season of it's difficult. Like if you went to Battle City,
not bad.
I like that because that was as close to like the actual card game nowadays as possible.
Right. Mike says we're the first edition relinquished attack and defense times 10 the number of cards. Oh, that's OP.
Yeah.
OP.
Got one word, magic cylinder, you lose.
Sure.
I had that happen to me at a competition too.
Really?
Yeah, I had. We called this guy the Dragon Dude. I still remember this because I'm pissed about it to this day. He did this fusion dragon deck always. I had one card that said like if your opponent plays a fusion monster, take control of it. I was like 9 and didn't fully understand, other than the fact that I was taking control. He's like, "Oh, that means you can only have it for this turn. It comes back to me." So I like went to attack him, and he played a card that just made me lose immediately because I attacked. And I'm still pissed about it to this day.
That sucks.
And I'm like, dude cheated me. That's not how that card worked.
Yeah.
17 years later,
I'm
almost getting over it.
We'll find him. Hey, you cheater!
You cheated me 17 years ago. But you're in prison now, so that's fair.
Yeah, you know,
I can forgive you.
Some people take wins, and some people take big losses. Prison is one of those big loss moments.
Hey, buddy. Take care of him later, all right?
Take care of him. He's got slippery hands.
Mm-hmm. He likes lotion.
He likes lotion. Mike, what the fuck? No, I think that, like, I never knew that about you. I never knew that you were into Magic and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And, well, Pokemon a little bit, Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's just funny because, like I said earlier, you lived 5 minutes away, and me and my friends were doing the same things. We were staying up watching the cartoons in the mornings, playing Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And, like, no one in my group got into Magic I got into Magic myself in junior high, but it's just fascinating to think that we were so close.
And yet so far.
Yeah, still so far, but we did so many similar things. Because, like, you know, we mentioned having the game nights, like the LAN parties, like staying up until god-awful hours in the morning playing Halo and Call of Duty and whatever else was popular at the time. And
that's where you settled your arguments, was Halo.
Yeah.
You having beef with someone?
Yeah. Meet me on Sand Trap, son.
Yep, Sand
Let's
Trap.
go.
Or, what was the one on Halo 2? There's like the one Banshee and it had like a windmill in the center or something.
Turmoil?
That might have been it.
No, Zanzibar.
That's it. Yeah.
Zanzibar.
That's
you almost got me there. I almost forgot. Yeah. Meet me on Zanzibar if I get the sword first. G fucking G.
Oh, dude.
I know the battle rifle's on the bridge. I'll find it.
I remember probably the funniest thing we ever figured out during game nights. One night when Douglas Sharma, we were always at his house. He fell asleep early, and one of us went, "Hey, Douglas, Yu-Gi-Oh's on." Immediately jumps up, fully awake. What the? Why would? It's like 3 a.m. So it became a running joke whenever he fell asleep first. Douglas, Yu-Gi-Oh's on.
Got him.
Every time. Every time.
Yeah, I have a funny story that you probably never heard, and it's super obscure. I don't remember which Halo was dropping, but a bunch of people were at GameStop, and I met up with one of my friends there, and Keenan and his brother, and Blake and Brian were there, and I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?"
About how long ago was this?
This was a while. It may have been Halo ODST, or no, it would have been after ODST. It may be 4.
It might have been 4 because I think I remember that. They did like the 4-on-4 competitions, and they gave away like a thing of Skyrim or whatever.
So I showed up.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I wanted to get in that tournament really bad. And Kyle Webb, if you remember him,
I remember Kyle Webb.
He was there, and I think, gosh, was it Daniel Sanders? There was someone else there that I knew. So I like scrambled to get a team, and the first team we played was Keenan, his brother, and Blake and Brian. They shit on us. Dude. So bad.
I remember the prep of them talking before that.
It was not good. They beat us like 50 to like 11.
Dude, they literally, that's all they did.
Yeah.
Like weekends, those 4 would get together and just play Halo. Like I remember the build up to that. I remember them being like, "Oh guys, we're playing Wes's team. Wes is good. The other guys,
Dude, they not even relatively close. Not even, and I think it was because like I peer pressured everyone into playing, so they were not about it. And I was like, damn, are we gonna lose to these guys? And they're like, my little ragtag team, like, no, we're gonna beat them. And then like 2 minutes in, I'm like, guys, we're not beating them. It was on Snowbird, I think that was the name.
Oh yeah.
The one where there's the boundaries where the laser guns will shoot you if you go out of it. Dude,
those were always my favorite.
They just stomped on us.
Yeah, every time anyone played.
And then I got my copy and I left. I wasn't sticking around. I was so upset.
There was me, Sheldon, and one other of our friends, and we could not find a 4th person. But me and Sheldon looked at each other and we're both like, dude, we're not going to beat Keenan's team.
Did they end up winning the tournament?
No, they took 3rd.
3rd?
I remember they took 3rd, and they were like, we don't want Skyrim anyway. At that point, I was like, Skyrim sucks. Screw Skyrim.
Oh, was that the prize?
Yeah, that was like the main prize was Skyrim. Nowadays, I'm like, man, Skyrim's the shit.
Oh.
When Skyrim Remastered came out, dude, I had that shit pre-ordered. I was playing that the second it was downloaded.
Bethesda has made so much money off of me on just one IP. I have bought Skyrim on the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, the Switch, the PC, twice. My PlayStation 4, my PlayStation 3. I have bought copies of Skyrim for 3 people on the computer because they were like, I've never played Skyrim. I'm like, it's $19. I got you. I have probably spent like $300 on fucking Sky. No, dude, way more than that. You spent more than way more than that.
I will generously say 1,000.
Because they were $60 each when I bought them for the consoles when they came out.
5. And then
Yeah, I'm in deep. Bethesda, if you're listening, Bethesda, if you fuck me on Skyrim 6 and it is not the best game ever, coming for that ass.
It better for that ass anyway. But
it better be good. I'm gonna be so disappointed if it's not.
I think I bought it twice. I bought it on sale for Xbox One, the original, and I was like, "Oh man, this is so fun!" And then I heard the remastered, and when I saw the graphics, sold me. I'm like, "I got to do this," and because I'm nerdy, I found the mod that turned it all into Dragon Ball Z.
Yes, their mods are
so much fun.
Todd Howard did it again. God damn it, Todd. I'm gonna find where he sleeps. I'm gonna wax that ass, Todd. No, no, it's I think Skyrim probably was. I feel like Skyrim was the first game of our generation that really brought a bunch of people into gaming. Because I remember there was a bunch of
see it.
Women in gaming wasn't as popular when we were in
or it was underground kind of.
Yeah, it was underground.
The cards and such.
Yeah,
how now it's come out more.
Less people. I feel like less women talked about playing games because it just was still not
more.
It wasn't as mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
And Skyrim, I felt, was one of those first games that really broke down that barrier of not only was everyone playing it, all the guys were playing it, but girls were jumping on board and playing. I knew tons of people.
It was kind of, for me, it was the first open world game that I played that I thoroughly enjoyed. I tried Dragon Age type games. I tried so many other open world games, and I'm just I don't even know if you could call some of the Assassin's Creeds open world.
Maybe some of these newer ones, yeah.
I never played an open world game that I was yes, I'm really loving this. And I played Skyrim. I love Skyrim because you can restart that shit so many times and be totally different.
Yeah, completely. I think I've beat is a subjective word in Skyrim, but I've gone through the main story. Yeah, I've gone through the main story of Skyrim twice. Completely different results both times, and I've probably played 8 different characters throughout the years of Skyrim, and all of them are in different facets of it.
The only one that I never really got far in was because I just watched a shit ton of Fairy Tale, where the main character is a fire mage, pretty much, or fire dragon mage. So I was like, man, I want to be a simply fire using mage in Skyrim.
That'd be tough.
That was bullshit. I think I got to the first I don't know, wolf or something, and just got destroyed. And I'm like, this is not a good idea. I'm like, fine, I'm gonna go to the college. I'm gonna go get trained. Got stuck by trolls and shit.
Yeah.
I couldn't even run to get away. That is the only time that I was like, this was a bad idea. I'm gonna restart. So the next one I played as a tank, I fucking got my dragonbone armor and weapons. I maxed out my archery. I maxed out everything, and every troll I found, I'm like, fuck you.
I saw a meme where it was yeah, I'm gonna start playing Skyrim. I'm gonna start playing Skyrim and do a different playthrough, and I'm not going to play archery. And then 30 minutes in, it's maybe I just need to level it up a little bit.
That's true.
Stealth archer, yeah. Mike gets it. Stealth archer.
The last one I did stealth archer with Atronarchs.
Oh, okay, that'd be kind of fun.
So I maxed that out so I could summon 2 of them to go attack everything. I sit there in the back just shooting.
Yeah, so you got some tanks and then you got
looking for the dragon priests.
No, that's just the fascinating thing about Skyrim is, it's been out for.
The original release was 2013.
I think it was
12.
No, we were
12?
still in high school. I remember talking about Sky. I think it was.
It might have been 11 then.
Let me see.
Possibly
Skyrim
10 years.
Original release date. Yeah, November 11th of 2011.
Holy shit!
So we were
10 years.
We were in 11th grade.
I didn't even discover it until after high school. So
yeah, it's just weird that Skyrim's one of those games that literally 11 years later, and there's still people streaming it and playing it, and
it's still entertaining. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If it makes you feel any better, my one brother-in-law, he's done the same thing with buying Skyrim like you have. Like,
oh, I have no regrets.
Like every PlayStation that's come out on his Switch. He's bought it for the Switch like 3 times because he plays like a shit ton of it. Like he takes his Switch everywhere and plays it. Then he's like, man, I've just burnt out on it like a month later. I got Skyrim again.
Yeah, hey, you know, Skyrim Skyrim's one of those comfort games where you're like, man, it's Friday night. I don't got anything to... Skyrim's here for me. I appreciate it.
I'm like, kids are all asleep, wife's asleep. I got 10 minutes. Loads. Shit.
Yeah. The loading is tough. There's lots of mods though now for
the mods
PC, and they really make the game.
I just got on Xbox One still in it.
They got mods on there. Yeah. No, it's fascinating. Was there a game that like, how do I word this? Was there a game that was like your secret like passion that you put like way too many hours in that you don't want to admit? I'll go first. Mine, Left 4 Dead 2.
I don't think I ever played Left 4 Dead.
I probably have, on the PC, I think I have like 30 or 40 hours. I think on the Xbox 360, I have like 200 or 300. It's just one of those fun games.
I'm trying to think. So I have kind of 2 different categories for it. I have one that I'm very proud of how much time I put into it because of how it paid off for me later down the road.
Okay.
And then the other one is every Pokemon game up until Sword and Shield, I have played through, and I've put a minimum of like 200 hours on each and every.
Respect that.
I mean, yellow, blue, not like one from each one. It's every. I've gone and gotten to all of them. I've probably put 200 or 300 hours into each one. That's probably my secret one, just because a lot of people be like, "That's a shit."
That is a lot of hours of Pokemon.
That is a lot of Pokemon. The one that I'm very proud of was I used to play it all the time with my cousins. Was GoldenEye.
Oh yeah.
On the
64.
64.
Yeah.
So I'm so proud of how much time I put into that, because when my friend group like Andres, Douglas, Nathan, when they discovered it, they thought they were gonna be tricking me at game night. They're like, "Dude, we found a new game. You're gonna have no idea. We're gonna kick your ass. It's gonna be great." And I'm like, "Okay, what is it?" And they're like, "Just watch. Wait until we get it loading." They turn it on and hand me the controller. I look and I see GoldenEye come up, and I'm just like, not trying to smile. I'm like, "Yeah, guys, I've never played this. First level, Golden Gun."
Yeah.
They're like, "How the fuck did you go through a wall?" I'm like, "Oh, if you go up to certain walls and press a certain button, you can go through them, and you can find hints to." I'm just like, no kills for anyone else. I'm just dominating them.
Oh, I love GoldenEye.
That made me so happy that night.
GoldenEye multiplayer was where boys became men.
Yeah.
Because you just like...
And whoever got the golden gun, you immediately went running.
Yeah. Because it really was one of those games where like, if you could not deal with the inverted or understand like the yellow arrow movement well, it's over. It's over. Yeah. Deej says Minecraft. I agree. I have put a godly amount of hours in Minecraft too.
I haven't done Minecraft just because I know I would.
Dude, it's smart. Minecraft is one of those games where it's been out now for 15 plus years, I think. And
something like that, yeah.
It's still, till this day, I can get on and just play for hours and hours and not have any remorse because it's just peaceful.
The thing that bothers me with Minecraft is I'm like, the graphics were already rough. And if I go back and play an old game, I'm like, man, these graphics are pissing me off. You can't do that with Minecraft. It's like, I can't tell if the graphics got worse or...
They got some mods now that clean up the graphics, but it's just one of those games where I don't know what it's about. Like, what it is about Minecraft that is just so...
I feel like you need to go watch this South Park episode about Minecraft.
I might have. I think I've seen that one. It's addicting. Minecraft is addicting in a weird way because, I don't know, it's just fun. But I think Left 4 Dead's my secret one that I don't tell that I have
too much time.
Yeah, it's so fun.
I'm well experienced in this game. Let's just leave it at
that.
Yeah,
I've played a round or two. Minecraft might be my absolutely most played game if you add up all the play time since like 2010. Yeah, I might. Well, okay, let's talk some fucking basement dwelling. My most played game is World of Warcraft.
I've never played the legit World of Warcraft like online, but I've played 3, the Frozen Throne.
Yeah.
Played through the campaign several times, and I've played just the playing against computers.
Yeah.
I've probably put a couple hundred hours into that.
Dude, I was a Blizzard fanboy since I was like 10. started with Warcraft 2. My dad played it a lot. Got into Warcraft 2. Got into Warcraft 3 heavy. Played a lot of multiplayer.
Warcraft 3.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
And then when World of Warcraft came out, me and my dad, this was 2004. So we were in 4th or 5th grade.
That's what I like about our school years.
You
like,
just know
what year was it? 2004? Oh, I was in 4th grade.
How many hours in WoW West? Dude, it's not hours, it's days, bro.
It's months.
It's I recently did the math and it's pretty gross. I do not wish to share. But
I put it behind, like down here. Like,
it's
show me in fingers.
It made me sick. I have 1,500 plus in Minecraft. Dude, I got like 2.5 years in WoW.
Wow.
Yeah. So like
unintended.
Yeah. It's a problem. But granted, that's over like 16 years of gaming. So that's me trying to justify it.
So that 1 year where no one saw you, that was not on WoW.
Just lots of WoW. But WoW was one of those experiences for me that I think also maybe pushed harkening way back to the start of the story about socializing and being like knowing how to communicate with individuals. It really started with WoW, and this is a weird way to get to that point, but as like a 4th or 5th grader playing an MMORPG using voice chat channels with adults.
You know, in 4th grade, they're also teaching us to beware of talking to people online.
I didn't listen to it. I didn't care.
Do you not remember that computer program?
Yeah.
Tell us which one is the predator. Every time I remember being pissed because it was all 3 doors that they said to click on were predators.
Yep.
Like, okay.
Dude, okay.
Anyway, sorry.
I'm going to get off subject because I could talk about WoW for a while. Come back next week. I'm having someone come on our late show. We're going to talk a lot about WoW. But I need to get into your weird subconscious with something because this has been driving me. I don't know
if you want that, but
not that side of it. Okay.
Oh.
I have been thinking of a
yeah, Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy. At least I got chicken. Okay, growing up at Woods Cross Elementary, do you remember there was when we started getting computer lab time and we were learning how to type and different shit like that? There was specifically a couple games that we were allowed to play. There was one that was like, I feel like it was like a math or English game, but then when you beat like a level, you got to watch like a weird animated like balls like bouncing around making weird noises and like little mazes you could go through. And then the other one, there was like,
It sounds vaguely familiar. I remember, like, it was a special program, like, you had to type your full first and last name into it, and then,
yes,
like, you went in, I think you would choose, like, between math or reading or something.
Yeah.
But I can't remember much
and
past
then
that,
there was
other than getting yelled at because I kept typing in Harry Potter.
There was another game, too, where it was, like, you were a little guy, and you would go into these doors, and you'd have to do something, and then you would get, like, parts. And you'd, like...
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
But, like, we never had enough time to, like, finish...
whatever it was.
Yeah. And then everyone would have to go back and restart. And I just, like... I'm dying to find someone that's, like, who knows exactly what the fuck I'm talking about.
Well, fuck you. Now I'm sitting here like...
Dude.
What were we going to build?
It tortures my mind for years now. I think I know what you're talking about. I know everyone who's around this area knows. Now, I'm not talking about AR reading.
No, not that.
Which was a fucking dumb system.
I don't know if they still do, but it's stupid as hell.
Nothing made me want to read less than telling me that I had to read to get these fake points.
To go to some dumbass party. I remember they did a dance party once. I'm like, none of us want to dance.
I remember all the way through elementary, we would always just get bodied by Cassidy Hills. Shouts out.
Yeah, well, because her reading goal was like 200 or 300 points.
Every time. She would body the whole school.
Yeah.
I never talked to you outside elementary, but I remember that. And you used to love Harry Potter in like 2nd grade.
I always thought her and Zach Page were going to get married. Just because of how close they were.
I think everyone in elementary wished that would have happened. Because they were so close. It was like,
oh, yeah.
Like, if you ever ship couples, that was like the ship.
That was the first one I think we all shipped. That we all
like, yeah, that makes sense. I haven't. Zach specifically, Cassidy, and like that whole group, I never really engaged with much, even when we went to high school.
I don't think I really ever talked to him.
I kind of talked to Zach in elementary. He was kind of like teetered on that group that would play like sports with us sometimes, but also play like other fun games like wall ball and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I was never super close with him. And then in high school, it was another one of those ones where like you see him, you're like, hey, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't even think I was at that point with him. I think I was like, oh, that's Zach.
Yeah, I had a huge read. Bieber, your reading goals are so.
Yeah, you were saying in another podcast she reads like several books a month or
bro.
week
It's so
she doesn't pay attention to you. She has books. I'm sorry. It's a joke. It's a joke. I swear.
I have never said that, Bieber. You can. He's joking. No, we did the math. Her last month, February, she listened to 300 hours of Audible, and I did the math. If she was awake for 15 hours a day, she listened to half of the time she was awake to books.
Damn.
And I was like, oh. Man.
So she wasn't paying attention to you.
Yeah. No. Sound like
it's
it
a joke.
Been me.
It's a joke.
I could care less about school if I had a good book. That was the thing. Is like,
if you could find a good book at that age, yeah, books were great.
Books were great, but
a lot of the time, like you said, it was being told, "Oh, you have to read."
God, dude, now all my elementary memories are flooding. Do you remember going to the library and everyone having to fight for like the same books that they wanted, like a Shaq Fu book?
I was thinking about this recently. How we'd go into the library, we'd sit in the little alcove, and Mrs. Essiger would read us a book. I remember. The thing I keep thinking about is thinking, man, I remember the library being huge. I went to my daughter's library at her school, and I'm pretty sure it's the same size. And I'm like, this shit is tiny. I'm like, I remember you could jump those 3 steps, and you were a legend to get down into the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm like, I remember
a legend.
Yeah, a legend. Like you were known by everyone in your grade. Like, oh, so and so, he cleared all 3. Cleared them.
Do you remember when we would have to? What year was it? 2nd grade, I think, or 3rd grade? Maybe even 1st, where we would have to because. Okay, for some backstory, when we were in elementary at our specific school, we did classes, meaning there was tracks. We were on a track system, so there was A, B, C, and D track, meaning that one track would be off every month. So if Cody and I were on A track, and then some of our friends were on B track, we would be in school in January, but they might be off in January. And then in February, we might be off in February, but they would be on. And then so on and so forth. And to be a rotating, every month a track would be off with these 4 tracks. But do you remember the one year where they would bring us all in to that little alcove and we had to sing?
Oh, yeah. Well, that was...
Is that first?
There was 1st grade, we did it for the Olympics.
Yeah.
No, that was 2nd grade.
Second grade, yeah, 2002, yeah.
I remember that because my teacher that year got married, and the kids in my class took this one song we were supposed to sing and made it about their wedding.
Oh.
I don't remember the song because I just remember I thought it was stupid.
Yeah.
I think 3rd grade we did it too.
Who was your teachers? Because I'm very curious how many we went.
Who were they?
I had Mrs. Morby in 1st.
So 1st I had Miss Nelson.
Okay. 2nd I had Flanagan, who was actually my neighbor before Dave moved in.
2nd I had... what was her name? Miss Meekum.
Meekum.
Because that was her last year there, when she got married.
3rd, I had Bateman.
Bateman?
Yeah.
We had Bateman together.
4th, I had Hayes.
Had Gerlach.
5th.
I had substitutes, and Gerlach was the technical name of the teacher.
That's right. I forgot about that, because wasn't she...
Gerlach was always gone.
Yeah. 5th, I had...
We actually had my 2nd grade teacher as a sub a lot, too.
Right. 5th, I had Fahim.
I don't even remember her name.
I don't remember who all the
there was. She was brand new that year.
Was it the one whose sister was a model?
No,
that was Squire.
That was Squire.
Never forget, boys.
Her dad was my 9th grade science teacher.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't even remember her name. Because I remember she was some girl's aunt that we were in that grade.
Oh, okay.
I just remember she was old and grumpy looking all the time.
In 6, I had Mitchell.
And I had Wilcott? No.
Wilson?
Davis.
Davis.
That's who it was Davis.
Miss Mitchell ended up getting fired for all the rumors that we all thought were true.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, pills and, like, porn in her. Like a VCR tape of porn. A bunch of shit.
I don't want to know that she's watching porn. That's just... Ugh.
Yeah, it's weird.
The weirdest thing ever happened to me. I was in 8th grade. My mom does a lot of, like, scrapbooking stuff. And she does, like, scrapbooking parties. She was really good friends with my 6th grade teacher, Miss Davis. So they were doing a party at her house. Well, she forgot like something or needed something. So me and my dad took it to her at Miss Davis's house. Every single one of my elementary school teachers, besides Miss Meekum, were all sitting there in that room at that party. I walk in and all of them, "Hi, Cody."
Oh, that'd be so weird.
No.
Oh,
and
like a weird nightmare.
I hadn't seen any of them for at least 2 years, and I'm like, ugh. I remember just turning to my dad. I'm like, truck.
Yeah, I would have not. Like, that would have been weird.
They're like trying to ask me questions and shit. I'm like,
because like
no,
teacher, especially like elementary, is one of the weirdest things, right? Because to us, when we're going through it, a teacher is like this weird authoritarian like figure in our life, but it's like a weird relationship. But then when we're adults, we're like, oh, that's just their career. They're just teachers. But our teacher specifically, it just feels so, I don't know, it's different.
I don't know how much you work with the public at your job, or if at all. Have you ever run into one of your old teachers that you absolutely hated and thought they were a terrible teacher and had them be like, oh yeah, wasn't I your teacher at one point?
No, I haven't had to.
I have a couple of times.
Really?
I had my 7th grade English teacher showed up at my work about 3 months ago. It's like, oh, are you Cody, right? Did I teach you in like 7th grade? I'm like, yeah. She goes, yeah, you were a good kid. And I'm just sitting there like smiling. As soon as she walked away, I looked at the person I was working with. I'm like, man, fuck her. I hated her so bad. And they're like, man, you smiled that off pretty well, didn't you? I'm like,
fake it till you make it.
Like, dude, there's so many of my teachers that have come through. They're like, I liked you. I'm like,
I had some interactions at Domino's, but nothing like blaring. I just want to talk. Okay, so who was the lady in elementary? And the only way that I can explain this is she was the lady with the ginormous rack, but not
Miss Weber.
Was that her name?
Yeah.
Where she would come
high, good looking, whatever.
Yes, and she would come and like read stories, and she'd talk the circle of revenge, and
I hated her.
Yeah.
Just because of her motto of high, good looking, every time she came in and made everyone like point and do that.
I forgot about that.
I hated that. I thought that was so. Looking back now, I'm like, that was a good thing to do for all those kids.
Yeah.
Telling them to like do the affirmations and everything. I'm like, that was good. At the time, I'm like, I hate you, lady. I hate you so much.
I forgot about the high, good looking.
That and I was talking about Mosey and Cooper, her dogs.
Yep. God, it's so weird to think back that far.
I had a question I wanted to ask you about high school, actually.
Yeah.
Did you ever do any of the True Wildcat challenges, or do you remember those?
Yeah.
Because there's like the True Wildcat, the Super, the Ultimate, or did you ever do any of those ones? Which ones?
Streaked around the track.
Yeah. Nice.
Dick in the wind. Heavy breathing.
Did you do it with anybody? Or?
Yeah. Can't. Sworn to secrecy.
Oh, okay. Just because I wanted to ask you about that, because I'm like, you could streak around the track to be True Wildcat, or you could make out on Pride Rock when we got that.
I never did that.
I did that one. I did that one with my girlfriend at the time, right before we went into the senior party. And it was me, Keenan, Sheldon, and one dude that I don't know who it was.
Well,
that did the streaking.
Happens
in the
sometimes.
Middle. I want to say it was January. All I know is it was a blizzard. And amongst ourselves, we agreed we could keep our shoes and socks on.
Hey, that's a win. That still counts.
We all run the track. I remember the dude, I think Keenan was a friend with him, knew him. He was in the lead. Then it was me. And I remember he's almost fully dressed by the time I got back to our clothes. I'm fully dressed. Keenan gets back, and then Sheldon, because Sheldon kept all his clothes in his hands because he was convinced someone was going to come and steal them. Well, The only part that worried me about that was, okay, part worries me now is that I don't know who that other dude was.
Hey, he was about it though.
Right? Well, and then Keenan, as I'm putting my shirt on, goes, "Man, Cody, you are really fit, bro." Don't get me wrong. I can joke like that with people, but I've never had that relationship with Keenan till that point, and I've never been naked with another man. And just to know he was running behind me, checking me out well enough to tell me that I just remember being,
you're like, fuck, thanks, bro.
Just thanks, buddy. We're not gonna talk for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to my car and rethink rethink my life decisions.
Well, me and Sheldon rode with him, so.
So how fit did you think I was, Keith?
Right? I'm like, not that fit anymore.
No, it's Deej says, what the hell? Why didn't I know about these challenges? I don't know. It was just kind of.
I thought that was pretty well known. Like most people knew, like there was the true Wildcat. You had to originally it was just run the track naked, right?
Yeah.
Then there was like the ultimate Wildcat. You run the track naked with someone of the opposite sex.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then that's what I had.
Yeah. And then there was the make out on Pride Rock, and then make out naked. Like
I didn't know the Pride Rock thing.
That I only knew that one because my girlfriend at the time said she wanted to become a true Wildcat. I'm like, oh, let's go run naked. No, she wasn't.
She wanted to just make out.
She just wanted to make out. Then I know the biggest one was you had to run around the inside of the school naked and then sit in the principal's chair.
Did anyone actually do that?
I'd heard stories that Peter Howie did.
I could see that.
Rest in peace. I never, right, rest in peace. I never heard from like him. I remember I asked him once, he's just like, I don't know, bro, did I?
I would have easily done all of them. Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah, once you get on that track naked and it's snowing though,
that track seems a lot longer when you're.
It's a lot further when you're naked.
Yeah, it's definitely that run seems a lot longer when you're not clothed with people around.
When you're dick slapping back
side
to side, and you're like, it's pretty, guys. It's cold. I swear. It's
when you're guy with the worst cardio and everyone's like, speed this shit up.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's
good
not
times,
fun.
right?
Not fun. No, it's fascinating. I just think that elementary was one of those things that, because we're starting to get to that age where we're like starting to kind of forget elementary as a whole. Like I remember bits and pieces, but like when I connect with people who we went to school together, there's like things that just come out. Like I posted a picture of like every person who grew up in the 90s, early 2000s had one of these in their school. And it was those things where you put in 50 cents and you push it and you get one of the pins. Or the pencils where it would like, the lead would be one thing and if it ran out, you'd put the lead back to the top and it'd push another lead out. Oh. Do you remember those? It was
I remember those.
Let me see if I can find like a picture.
I don't think I ever had like a legit pencil one of those. I always had like the colored pencil version where you just keep changing the color out.
So, I think they're called cylinder pencils.
Sounds right.
I think it's trying to take me to Amazon. I think it was like those.
Okay, yeah. It was like the original mechanical pencil, I think.
Yeah. It was before like you would just push the top of the eraser.
Yeah.
It was actually like each chunk.
Put it down.
Yeah, there was like chunks of like plastic with lead where you if you'd ran out, you'd put it at the top and push it down, you get the next one.
And they were so cool back in the day too.
Yeah.
Anyone who had one was like, dude,
you were hot shit.
That's cool. It's pretty cool.
I also really, really remember the Halloween events at our school being top notch.
I wish they still did the Halloween parade thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if schools really do that anymore. I know my daughters didn't.
Yeah.
Probably because of COVID. But I remember that. I always thought that was cool.
Right. Because like you would do the parade, you'd walk through all the classrooms, and then you would go into the lunchroom, and then everyone's parents would be there.
Oh, yeah.
And then like each class, wasn't like 5th grade, you'd have to do that song where they would like have like the floating heads.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Halloween performance or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember there's like the Ghost of John.
Yeah. Something like that.
I remember there's a few songs, but that's the only thing I can think of for it.
Did you end up going to our 5-year anniversary? Did we talk about this last time?
Yeah, we did that. Where I almost brought a gun to it by accident.
Yeah. I
think you should go through with your party idea. Like, get a hold of them and be like, can I throw a party for this?
Yeah, like an actual party. Like
something good.
Because, I mean, is there anyone that we know that was in a band? Or isn't in a band currently that we went to school with? I know Nick Safakis is in a reggae band.
I know he's in a reggae band. I can't think of anyone who's like.
I don't know if he would do something like that. He's actually pretty famous now. They outsold Bob Marley. His band outsold Bob Marley a couple months in a row.
Oh shit!
Yeah, they're like
damn.
They're like a big.
I didn't know he was
band.
that big.
Yeah,
I knew he was doing good. But...
Yeah, he's a big reggae band.
That's who you need to be reaching out to.
Yeah, he was one of those kids that like I was always pretty cool with, and I was friends with James a little bit, who was friends with him. But I never had many interactions.
That's kind of about where I was with him. Like
later, Mike. Thanks for hanging out.
I remember, like you posted the video of him, like his music video the other day. Yeah. I remember watching it. And I was like, that is not the Nick I remember. No. I remember Nick was like out like
sports guy.
Sports guy.
Yeah.
Like football and shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just seeing him like, whoa, what? I want to hear his story. I want to know.
Yeah, me too.
I do remember, honestly, at the end of high school, he started like trying to grow out his dreads, started doing more with music and like the halls and such.
Didn't he win a car too? Do you remember that?
Was it him that won the car?
Yeah, not the. I feel like he won through like church or something. Like I think he was Catholic. Don't quote me on this, guys. I feel like he won like a Charger or a Challenger through church somehow.
That doesn't sound familiar to me. He might have. I just didn't hear about it.
And then I forgot we did a giveaway of a car.
Yeah, we did the car giveaways.
The keys or whatever.
Keys 6. I never got one of those.
I got some, but I didn't even go fucking out there because I was like, I'm not gonna win it.
What?
Shit was staged.
I didn't care to go up to my teacher and be like, hey, I want to be successful and get a car.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was going to be a piece of shit car.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, the thing I miss most about high school was having foods class first in the morning so I could show up and not have breakfast and make breakfast.
Yeah. Our high school did do a lot of things really well. I think that relatively there wasn't a lot of bullying.
I don't know, maybe it was just the group I hung out with, but I don't recall any bullying at all, honestly.
I feel like there were some people.
There probably was.
I feel like Sheldon.
Okay,
Sheldon was a person who definitely got the short end of the stick sometimes.
Sheldon got a bad at it. Of course, I was right up there.
Yeah.
With Sheldon, so I was seeing his experience of it. So I guess I wouldn't have seen it as much of bullying. We're just kind of like, oh, dude, just ignore him, let it go. I feel like he was someone that he got the short end of the stick pretty bad.
Yeah.
Sheldon's a smart guy. He just did some things that were stupid, and it just kind of resonated more.
Yeah,
I feel like
I feel like he was too confident to be in high school with who he was because people see that and want to
bring it down. Like hanging out with him and all, like there are some dumbass stories that that happened. One of them I didn't even get in trouble with, and it was totally my fault.
Happens.
I can tell you that story quick if you want, because it's past the statute of limitations.
If you want to, let's hear it.
So, do you ever go to Mosquito Park a lot?
Yeah.
Do you remember about 10 years ago, there was some donuts done in the middle of the field?
Yeah.
Here's the story behind that. So, Sheldon's driving. I'm in the passenger seat. Keenan's in the back seat. We're driving to meet up with Shelby and Sarah, who used to hang out all the time. Right. I can't remember who it was Sheldon had a crush on at the time, but we park, and as smart ass as I can be, I'm like, dude, we should go off-roading or four-wheeler, something. And me and Keenan's just like, dude, no, we shouldn't. That's stupid. And I'm just like, yeah, it is stupid over here. Oh, shit. He starts doing donuts in the middle of the soccer field, comes back, and parks in the same spot. And I'm like, and then we get out and we're talking to the girls, and like 3 joggers come by and take the license plate number. He's like, oh, I wonder why they're doing that. I'm like, dude.
Oh, no.
So we take his car to his house. We pick up Keenan's car. We're there to pick up Sheldon, and the police show up. And Sheldon's walking out of the house, and the officer's like, "Are you Sheldon? We need to have a talk." His sister comes out of the house. "What the fuck did you finally do?" And Sheldon's like pointing at me. He's like, "He's the one that told me to do it." And I start getting out of the car because I'm like, "Oh, it jigs up." And the officer goes, "I don't give a fuck that he told you to do it. You're the idiot that did it."
Oh, good.
So I just like sat back down in the car. And me and Keenan's like, "I'm gonna leave." So we left. Oh, he had a crush on Sarah at the time.
Okay.
I remember that was so funny to me because he got sentenced to community service, working for the Parks Department, and his supervisor was Sarah's dad.
Wow. Ain't that a weird twist of events?
He didn't talk to me for a while.
Well,
understandably.
Yeah, I feel like that's fair.
But like I said, he's a confident guy. He's a smart guy. He just did some stupid things.
Yeah.
And I remember everyone being like, "Dude, why would you listen to Cody?" And I'm like, not that I say terribly stupid things at this point, but I wouldn't have listened to me.
Well, still gotta have a fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of stories of being dumb, doing dumb stuff. I'll tell you one that was probably the scariest moment. Statute of limitations is how many years?
About 10.
It's
close enough.
Seems fine. So, a couple of my buddies who live on the street.
We didn't say the address, so
yeah,
we're good.
No. You know who you are.
Turn off the GPS.
I know you guys listen sometimes. Mountain, yeah. We those two specifically like to build some pipe bombs.
Oh shit.
And like there would be times where I'd be sitting here and I would hear one go off and I would call and I'd be like, "Was that you guys?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Dude, I heard that from my house. Where are you guys?" They're like, "Mosquito." I'm like, Jesus, like that's like rocking the foot. Like I heard that clear as day in my room. So, anyways, fast forward, where they built a really like big pipe bomb, and we're at Mills Park, and our plan is to go up to the B and light it and toss it down
into
runway
or
the waterway thing that gets it's all graffitied and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting at Mills Park just hanging out, and a cop pulls up.
Oh shit!
And of course, my ass has it in like a sling backpack, and like because sling backpacks were kind of the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And not that none of us like smoked weed or anything like that, but like I feel like the officer assumed that we were doing something along those lines because we're at Mills Park. It's like 8:00. We're like goofing around, not really doing anything, and then when he shows up, we just get really
quiet.
So like, he's like, "So what are you guys doing?" And we're like, "Just hanging out." He's like, "Huh? Doing what?" Well, just talking. Like we're all like, wide-eyed. Like, what are we doing?
Don't search me! Don't search me! Don't
And
search me!
He looks at me and he's like, "You're just out here, just hanging out?" I'm like, "Yeah, like we're playing basketball for a while." He's like, "Well, what's in your backpack?" I'm like, "Schoolwork." He's like, "Okay, well, park closes in an hour. You guys have to get out of there then, otherwise we're coming back." And I'm like, "Okay." And I'm sitting here like, just shit in my pants, like,
I bet.
like hiding back the shaking. And I'm like, he leaves and I'm like, "Guys, that pipe bomb is in my backpack." And they're like, "Oh my God." Because like we could have got like really fun. I don't even know what
you'd have been doing time.
I don't know what sure. I mean, we weren't 18, but I don't know what kind of charges that is.
You could be charged as an adult still.
Yeah.
Like
it is
shit can go down.
It was a pipe bomb that like potentially could have like
hurt somebody.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, we beating up bullies? Yeah, dude, you got to beat up bullies. Definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Bullies got to come in my opinion.
Yeah.
You remember all that teaching in elementary too, how to identify a bully?
Kinda.
I just remember one thing was, if you confront a bully, they'll back down.
Yeah.
That's how I always assumed I wasn't a bully, because I would never back down.
It's a good way to look at it.
Bullies back down if you stand up to me, and I don't.
I don't feel like... I don't know if we had any bullies in elementary either. There was kids who definitely got bullied.
Oh, yeah.
You know. But I don't know.
I kind of feel like Tyler McBride did a little bit.
He was one of the kids I was just talking about.
Yeah.
Kids.
Like, I remember, like, 4th grade was, like, really rough for him. He was in my class. I remember him have a really rough time.
Yeah. He had a rough time, and Tyler's like, I don't know if you still listen or not, Tyler, but growing up, he was like I feel like he was one of my first really good friends, and like we always stayed really close all the way through high school and stuff, like as close as we could. And you know, I still feel there was a moment that really made me realize how shitty people could be when he was battling cancer in junior high.
Mm-hmm.
And we were on the bus, and like he just didn't want to be bothered, and kids were like fucking with his hair because he was going through chemo, and like his hair would just fall out in gobs. And they were like trying to pull his hair out and like shake his hair, and I just remember like that was one of those moments like when you look back you regret not doing something, because I feel like he was always so great to me. I wish I didn't say anything. I didn't stop him, and I should have.
When you're younger too, at those times you don't think about how it really affect them.
I know, and he just didn't deserve that because he was such a sweetheart.
I do remember in body conditioning class with him when he started growing the rat tail though. Every day I'm like, dude, I'm gonna cut that off.
Oh yeah, because that was like everyone was doing that because like the Jedi braid.
Yeah, I remember every time he went to go to bench, I'd like try and like pretend like I was pulling out scissors. No.
Deej says, I got hella bullied, but it was kind of group bullying. Like, none of them would say shit alone, but a group of kids bullied the hell out of me because I was poor compared to most of the kids at Orchard. That sucks.
That's rough.
That is something weird with this area, because Deej... So Deej, are you 3 years younger than us? Or 2? I can't remember. I think you might be 4.
It's between 1 and 5.
Yeah, 1 and 5.
We're narrowing it down.
Yeah, we're getting there. But he lived around here, and... Yeah, the big economic gaps here is fascinating, especially at Woods Cross, because like we would go with the poorest of the poor and the richest of the rich.
Oh yeah, either you live down here and you're somewhat okay, or you're, fucking poor as hell, or you have millions of dollars and your daddy buys a new football field and you get to be quarterback.
And you get to be quarterback. Hey, you know what? Shouts out to him. Hopefully he's doing good. I never talked to that kid, but
I kind of wish I'd kept up with him to find out. I wish I'd have kept up with any the better football players to see if they actually went anywhere. I know a couple went to play for the U, I believe.
Yeah, the one kid in our grade, Felipe Makafusi.
He was a year younger than us.
I thought he was our age.
Felipe was a year younger.
Oh, well, he played for the U, and he was a starting linebacker and did really, really well.
Yeah, Felipe was good. He was a good kid.
Yeah, I don't know.
I liked him a lot.
I don't know if I don't think he entered the draft, and I don't know if he ever got signed up as a free agent, but I know that he was pretty good at the U, and
I hope he did.
We were in high school together for 1 year. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Now, so he's James's age then.
Yeah, so you know his brother, James Stahle.
Yeah. I should probably apologize if you do. My family's kind of that way. We usually apologize if you know one of us.
Yeah.
We can be a bit much.
No, I definitely want to try and get some more individuals on who we went to school with, just because having those talks would be cool. I think Keenan would be a fun guest, but I haven't reached out.
Keenan, I think, would be really good because he got married I believe it was last year. He's been working for KSL, doing a lot of their video editing.
Oh, awesome.
I think he'd be a good one. If you get a hold of Abraham, like I said. That kid, he was there for all the shenanigans that my group was doing.
Yeah, Abraham would be a good one.
He
was friends with James.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Small world. Small world. Yeah, there's lots of people that I'd like to get on. Just it'd be fun. It'd be weird to I don't think I've talked to Keenan since the night he boxed that. Who did he box? It was the night that Sheldon and Manuel boxed. He also boxed somebody.
I still watch the Sheldon Manuel fight, by the way.
Where is that at?
I just know it's on YouTube.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Find that.
It might be under B-Boy Mansion, which...
YouTube's about ready to get searched. Hold on.
Yeah, because I think it's on B-Boy Mansion, because that's where we put a lot of, like, our dancing videos onto, was on there. Try looking up, like, battle buffoons. You might be able to side search it. You might even be able to look up Sheldon versus Manuel. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep. B-Boy Mansion.
How many years ago was that? 2011.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
Okay, hold on.
I like how it's edited.
We're gonna pull this up on stream for y'all. So let's. You guys are gonna have to give me a second here. Color scheme, media source. Let's just do display capture, add source. Add source.
I don't know if Keenan's is on there too or not.
Okay, guys, we're watching this together. I don't think there's any audio. Well, I don't want to play the audio just in case there's music. Man, look at those young boys. You forget how small of humans we were.
That was a pretty good hit.
That was a good hit. That was a great start. Not bad. I mean, because that first hit opened up his nose. Like landed right on his nose and he was bleeding.
I was trying to figure out if Sheldon's like really hyped or if he was like really sunburned. Because if he was really sunburned, I'm like, those punches are going to hurt a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, and at this time, Manuel was a pretty good... He had been in several fights like this. I just don't think he was ready to get punched right at the start.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, anyone can say what they want about Sheldon, but I'll give him this. He's feisty.
Yeah.
Like, he gets in a fight, he goes.
Yeah. Well, I don't doubt... I bet he's pretty strong, too, considering, you know... anyone who does B-Boy is... There, you're what's that? Is it fundamental strength? Is that the term for it? It's where you're just
core strength.
Yeah, like you're just strong because your body has been
just
built
into it.
Yeah.
Man, back when I was dancing all the time, I used to be able to fold my legs, just sit on my hands, and I could curl my knees to my head with my abs. I can't even fold my legs anymore. Kids do that to you.
Yeah. And then
I think there was a gap in the video.
When Manuel was able to get him to the ground is when...
Is that Pele in the back?
Yeah. Pele was there with Eli, I think.
I remember when he got Sheldon to the ground because I remember the oof.
Yeah. Yeah, this is where Manuel kind of took over as far as the ground goes.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the end of it. Because at this point they had... Yeah. I don't think they really do much now.
Oh, he rips his shirt. That happened.
I'm here somewhere. Oh, yeah, there I am.
Sure that's you?
Yeah.
You don't got a beard.
Yeah. Right?
So where's your video?
Which one?
Your video of this.
I have no idea. I wish I had it because I would definitely post it.
That's Jake Garcia, isn't that over there?
I don't know. Oh, he gave the winner to Manuel. I didn't know that he qualified a winner. Let me get rid of the display capture here.
Oh, dude, good times, right?
Yeah, good times. Manny throwing kicks. Hey, what's up? I don't know if I can pronounce your name. Hey, boy. I'm gonna go with that.
Bob-on.
I've seen one of you fighting, Wes. Dude, I feel like everyone has video of me fighting and doing this shit, but I only have one video. I don't know where they're all at.
I don't know. Hidden.
When we would all fight in the Pickett's backyard. Yeah. There's a lot of fights there. Don't get punched by Tyson Bateman. Kid's real strong.
Oh, shit, Tyson?
Yeah. Kid's strong as
fuck. I dated his sister for a minute.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah. Getting hit by him is not the most enjoyable thing that I experience I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Yeah, I feel.
You're telling me being punched in the face is not one of your top 10 things you've enjoyed most?
You know, I usually don't mind it, but specifically by him was not the most enjoyable thing. We had a pretty even match, I feel, but he fucking is he's a strong boy.
Does that make you almost want to try and do it again? Be like, all right, 10 years later.
10 years later, the rematch.
All of us are out of shape now.
Yeah,
let's see how this goes.
He started training with one of his buddies, so he probably fucked me up now.
Nah, dude, you got padding.
I got padding. I can take the kicks.
Right.
Nah, I don't know. I trained for a little while, and I really want to get back into it, but it's just a
commitment.
Yeah,
it's a lot of.
It's the time commitment, really. It's the time commitment that I don't know if I can justify 3 hours of going and training a day to actually get to a point of using it versus. I need to go back to the gym and just do fundamental exercises.
Just start easy. Go walk around the block.
Yeah.
You, your lady, just go walk around the block. Tell yourself one day, I'm going to do 5 push-ups, 10 push-ups, whatever.
Him and Tommy trained a bunch for Yeah, Tommy, that's right. Tommy is Tommy's dad, a trainer too. That's why it's I have one video that's on there of me fighting someone. Classified it as a charity event.
Why was it a charity event?
I don't know. We were trying to commingle our audiences.
Here we go. I have not seen this fight.
No?
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, okay. This will be fun. To be fair, to give it some hindsight, this was probably like my 20th fight in relative of, and I think this was Aaron's first. So
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like if this was in the UFC, the judge would look at you guys and be like, "Wes, you just win. This is not."
I did fall. The ground was shitty there.
Okay, Wes. Okay.
I was really upset that I fell. It's all about the jabs. The jabs are what make the game much easier.
I almost feel like you're going easy on him, man.
I was, because when he threw his first punch, I was like, oh, he's never thrown a punch before. And I talked to him about it a little bit. I was like, I didn't realize that he had never really
fought.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. So I feel like it would be not fair of me to
just go all out.
Go in there and try and really hurt someone that is a friend of mine, that we're doing. Because in the background is his song that plays over this video.
Ah, okay.
So it was like him, like we were trying to like
pump him up and
like share our audiences and
okay.
Get his music out there, and I think the thing that he really wasn't prepared for is, even though I'm a big guy,
you know how to fight.
Well, I could,
and you can throw a punch pretty good.
I just can go for a while because I've done MMA.
Good for your lady.
Yeah, sometimes. So I got a drop there, which was okay. I caught him on the chin. It didn't knock him out, but it definitely
stunned him.
Stunned him a little bit, and then we did boxing gloves. Same thing. I just He just really doesn't have much head movement or anything along those lines.
I said you look like a beast.
I just have done it for a while, and
what happened to your action movie career, dude?
that would have been fun.
You like Jason Statham looking you down? Just no, I'm not doing it.
I'd look at him and just be like, "What's up, bitch?" And he would head kick me.
I'd be like,
die.
"Sup, bitch?"
I think Jason Statham is trained pretty well, if I remember right.
Yeah, he is.
Aaron was a good sport. It was a lot of fun. I feel like he had a good time, as relative as you can for something like this, and he calls it. Don't forget to subscribe, boys. He says the SoundCloud rapper took an L. He's a funny guy. I like Aaron a lot. What did I miss here? Hey, Salty! What's up, friendo? He was strong as fuck. Him and Tommy trained a bunch. Get some dumbbells. I do squats and push-ups every morning. Geez, I'm beat. Misspelling a lot. I was explaining your podcast and stuff you do on the channel to a guy one time, and I showed him the clip, and he said it looked like you were using 1% of your gym power. Oh, very good for the lady. Dice roll in. What's up?
There you go.
Oh, male salty.
1%. Doing some My Hero Academia status percentages.
I haven't watched that show either.
Dude.
I know everyone that I say that to, they're like, you don't really watch anime. And I'm like, I know.
I'll admit, mainstream. It is become more mainstream. First season, you're going to struggle with it a little bit. But you get to the main fight at the end, you'll be like, what the fuck have I been missing out on? And that is the worst main fight in the series. Like, season 4, there's a fight that you watch this kid that every time he tries to use his powers just gets fucked up. He finally gets to go all out against this villain who's total piece of shit. Like, you hate this villain. And to watch him go 100% against this villain, payoff.
Worth it.
So great.
See, I haven't watched 7 Deadly Sins either. I've heard that one's really good.
I loved the first season because I noticed most animes have like the power leveling type thing.
Salty's head on. The only anime I can currently say is the best that everyone should watch is Jujutsu Kaisen. That shit's so good.
I haven't seen that one yet.
I think it's on what, episode something. It's coming out right now. I think it's under 20.
Okay.
They're saying that it's going to be the next like long form show.
Are they doing it like by season, kind of like they're doing everything now? Or
what animes were you talking about? We were talking about
My Hero
Academia, and 7 Deadly Sins. Yeah. Episode 22. Yeah.
I like 7 Deadly Sins. I like the first season because they didn't do like a power level, so they couldn't be like, oh, his power level's based off of this. But at the same time, season 2 they brought that in. I was like, okay, it's kind of nice to see. You know, this guy's power level's 30,000 and this one's only 2,000. Yeah.
I should, if you want to dabble back into anime, I know it's tough to find time, but Jujutsu Kaisen is probably...
I'll go check that out.
I feel like it's probably going to be, depending on the... I don't know. Everyone is super hyped about it right now, and I think it could possibly go down as, one of those top great animes that's ever been made.
I'm still trying to... I've got a few episodes left in... What is it? Demon Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to grind away at One Piece.
Yeah.
I'm like episode 600. I'm trying.
You're way further than I am. I had One Piece for me was always like you know what? I did Naruto and I did Naruto Shippuden. I'll wait for One Piece. And then I put it off and put it off and put it off. And then I started it and got to like episode 50 or 60 and then I fell off. So I had just restarted it last month. And I'm on like episode 24-ish. People get mad when I call it a good Bleach. I can see why people get mad. People love Bleach. And Bleach is coming back.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I didn't read the manga, but I had a good buddy of mine that was telling me all the animes to watch for what reasons, and he told me that he hated Bleach because of where it ended.
Really?
He's like, it ended right before the best arc. I'm like, are you kidding me? It already had great arcs.
Well, the story of why it ended is really shitty. It was the tsunami. It wiped out their whole studio. So they couldn't continue. But Bleach isn't that good, though. I really like Bleach.
I love Bleach.
Yeah.
I did not care much for the final arc that they actually animated.
Right.
But I love Bleach.
I look at Bleach as one of those shows where if you watch Bleach as one of your first introductory animes, it's really good. But if you watch Bleach now, it's probably not going to hold up.
Yeah. I would say My Hero if you're going to start anime.
Yeah.
If you've never watched anime, watch My Hero. I feel like it hits all the main anime things.
They dropped Rukia and yeah, you gotta go. Yeah. Wes, you need to get those One Piece numbers up. What the fuck, bro? I know. I just finished Kill la Kill last night. That show's fucking great.
That was great. One Piece is great. Like, I ground through it because I wanted to see the Whitebeard War arc.
Yeah.
Like the assault on Marineford, because I was told that was one of the best arcs in anime history. From what I've seen, I thought it was probably one of the best arcs
That's what
ever.
I've heard too.
But after that, knowing, okay, I've got another 400 episodes plus to catch up.
Yeah. Pretty much everyone that I talk to who is deep into One Piece says it's still the best anime.
One Piece is great.
You know, and
it's just committing your time.
I'm a Shippuden fan through and through. I feel like Naruto Shippuden skipped the filler, and maybe we can argue that they should have ended the show.
The original plan was to end it right after the fight with Pain and Naruto. And then they were just going to do like a little 25 episode thing to explain his later life.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That was the original thing. Pain was supposed to be the last Akatsuki and just supposed to go from there. Let me ask you though, have you ever tried to go rewatch it after watching that fight?
Shippuden?
Yeah. How easy is it for you?
What do you mean?
Like, I struggle after watching Naruto versus Pain and seeing him just being a badass in Sage Mode. I can't go watch like regular Naruto and watch him not even be able to do a shadow clone.
Yeah.
Like it's hard.
The original Naruto is really hard because it's like the original Dragon Ball.
Well, even like the first original Shippuden, like 100 episodes before he gets Sage Mode.
It's slow.
Like it's hard. Like I've seen him as a badass. I've seen him take down the elites.
You need to go back and watch past Pain and see some of the other shit that goes on because it's like where he ended up. That Naruto would shit on Pain and old Sage Mode Naruto.
Oh, he would.
Quickly.
But that's still my go-to fight. If I'm like, I want a good anime fight, I go watch that.
True. That Pain fight is great. I tried to introduce someone to anime using Kill la Kill. That was a bad idea.
No shit.
Yeah, that was not a smart move.
I've got a worse idea for you. Introduce them with Berserk.
Berserk's pretty dope, though.
Have you watched all 3 movies?
No.
Don't.
Oh, okay.
Don't watch all 3.
No?
Like, the first one, great movie. Second one, great movie. Ends a little weird. Because
I've only seen the first one.
Because Guts defeats, what's his face, the white-haired guy?
Okay.
So the white-haired guy goes nuts and goes and has sex with the princess. Gets caught and thrown in prison.
Oh.
Number 3, they go break him out of prison where the prison guard has cut all his tendons so his limbs don't work. And then he gets taken, the entire company gets taken by like the 5 Demon Kings. And they turn the white-haired guy into the 6th Demon King. At which point he starts murdering all the company and then forces Guts to watch him rape his girlfriend.
Whoa, that doesn't sound great.
That's what I said.
What the fuck?
Like I got to like the part where like the dude's the Demon King, he starts raping her. I'm like, done.
Let's wrap that up.
That's what I tell everyone. If you start Berserk, just don't continue it.
Salty says no, but they instantly thought I watched a lot of hentai because of Kill la Kill. They weren't wrong, but still jumping to conclusions. I don't want to make them cry, though. I read through the manga like 10 chapters. It caught up. Got worse, don't worry. Listen, Kill la Kill, I hopped in knowing that it was a lot of fan service, but it is probably one of the most unique shows I've ever watched in my life.
I feel like that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
Unique.
I've never seen a show that matches the wildness and the continued left turns that Kill la Kill does.
This is the most random reason that I love Kill la Kill is because they call it Goku uniforms.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Goku is so awesome in anime.
Yeah.
They use him as a way to measure how strong something is.
I also think Goku got his name because that was a god, right? Goku was the monkey god of Japan. Or something.
It's something along those lines.
So yeah, the Goku uniforms were... I just thought that show was like... just genuinely just so off the cuff wild. Like, they start the show and you have no idea why they're doing any of the shit that they're doing.
Mm-hmm. It's just... I love I don't know if it was in the Japanese dub, I love in the English dub, the one girl's like, why do you want to fight with your boobs hanging out? I loved that line. I'm like, yeah, why do you want to fight?
Oh, I loved the oh my god, I just finished the show, but I can't think of the names. The big buff dude, his whole entire Goku uniform is him just being like a submissive guy. I was like, oh no! And not Goku and Monkey King. Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. Why didn't you watch? I'm not sure. Oh, interspecies reviews for the plot. Salty told me about that show. Definitely should never watch it. Not gonna watch it. Okay. Also, don't watch whatever that cell phone show was.
I don't know.
We did our anime shows like a book club, so we bring.
Yeah, I usually.
Yeah. So Salty's pick was In Another World with Your Smartphone. That was the show. Don't watch that show. It's actually not that bad, but it's.
Don't watch it.
Don't watch it. Not worth the time.
Oh man,
it's fun though.
I watched Sword Art Online. That was pretty good.
You know,
I couldn't do the season 2 though.
What, Gun Gale?
It's not Gun Gale, but Sword Art Online 2.
The fairies.
I couldn't do it for just how they sexually objectified Asuna. I couldn't do it because I'm like, she was such a badass.
Yeah, that was the biggest fuck up that series ever did. Is Asuna was on the same goddamn level. She was a true bae, then they made her like, I need saving from my Prince Kirito.
Oh, dude, I was like, pissed about that.
And they didn't ever redeem her either. Like, I haven't watched the more recent seasons, but when Gun Gale came about, she wasn't hard.
She was a badass in Sword Art. I loved the first season.
First season of Sword Art's dope. I'll fight anyone on that. I know Sword Art gets a bad rep.
There's a few things that like hit home, like when he fights the demon Santa and finds out that you only get 10 seconds to revive someone. I was like, dude, I feel that. I got the feels.
Salty said Asuna was the only character that had character. You're right. No, I like the Heathcliff. I felt like that whole bombshell of him being the developer was really good.
I thought that was a great twist.
No.
Like when they started like putting out that plot that, of course he's gonna want to stay here and look at him like, yeah, if I made a world and drop people in, like, I want to be right there watching them too.
Yeah.
But I'd still want a way out.
I saw someone get a laughing coffin tattoo on their wrist. I was like, you murdering son of a bitch.
Fuck you, dude.
you were the bad guy.
In on it.
But yeah, I thought Sword Art, I thought that first season was really solid. The second season was whack. Gun Gale was pretty good.
I couldn't even start Gun Gale. It
just killed you.
It killed me. Season 1 just got me so hyped. I was like, I gotta see what happens. And then season 2 just killed me. Like, yeah, screw you guys.
Gun Gale, I feel like Gun Gale was cool, but the thing was, Kirito played a female, or was like his character. No, his character looked like a woman, and they played that joke a lot. But then there was like a fucked up thing where like he meets this little girl in the game, and like she's super badass, and he ends up wanting to like talk to her in real life. I can't remember how it plays out, but then finds out that she is in like a medical facility because when she was born, her mom had AIDS, so she has AIDS, and she's just dying. And I'm like, whoa, why is this show doing this right now? Like, it was such a weird side plot because the whole point of Gun Gale is there's a guy in the game that if he shoots you, it kills you in real life. That's like the main focus of the story. And then they have this side character development of this little girl who has AIDS. I'm like,
Why?
What the fuck? Why?
All right, people in Japan making anime. You have a lot of good ideas.
Yeah, you gotta chill with some
one
of
of
that shit.
you at the board meeting needs to be like, let's not fuck too much.
Yeah, we don't need to throw this in there.
Let's not do that.
It was just such a left curve. I was like, oh, okay, well, sad. It was super sad. But I was just kind of...
I love anime, but when they start like doing stuff like that with like little kids, I'm like, man,
we need to chill.
Why?
We need
Why
to
you gotta
chill.
be like that?
All right, well, we should probably wrap up. It's almost 10, and we've been going for about 2.5 hours. So that's a good time. Shall we plan another one?
I'm down.
Okay.
I'm down, of course.
We'll plan another
You'll
one.
have me back.
Now, like last time, I want you to plug your YouTube, what you're doing, where people can find you.
So you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. It's all under Stahle Outdoors. Stahle, just outdoors. My last name's difficult to spell sometimes. I promise anyone who's listened that has been following me, I will be posting a lot more. I hit the 50 subscriber mark and made the mistake of getting really into the grind of making videos. I had like 9 videos made. And then I was like, man, I haven't had a new subscriber in a minute. Go looking. I hadn't posted a new video in 2 weeks. I had 9 of them made. I'm like, shit.
Got to start posting.
So I'm getting back on that. So yeah, just come check me out. If you want to subscribe, send me a message. Let me know if there's any type of outdoor stuff that you'd like to see or hear, or you want to get a hold of me because you want to go with me. I have some coworkers now that want to go with me. I have a really funny fishing video that I'm posting here really soon. That is probably the most redneck thing you'll ever see. I won't spoil it, but even my wife watched it and went, that is the most redneck thing I've ever seen you do.
Love it. It's all outdoor vlogging.
Yeah, so it's all outdoor vlogging. Once a year I'll do like a year in review, kind of review highlights, but yeah, it's all outdoor stuff. I love having people come along if you guys want to. Something exciting that I am starting to plan this year is I have some people that I'm going hunting with this year that I'm doing a specific video series of fucking with people on their first hunt.
Oh.
So I'm going to be taking all these people who've never been hunting, don't do much in the outdoors, that want to be fucked with.
I like that idea a lot.
They want me to tell them to like be like, okay, I need you to come and do this just so I can laugh at them.
I like that. Deej says he'd be interested. It's Stahle Outdoors.
Yeah, come check it out. Yeah, if you're interested in being fucked with on hunting trips, fishing trips, I'll take you. Even if you just want to get out, I'm happy to take people out because I think more people know spend time in the outdoors. I think it's really good for you. Yeah, that's something I got coming up.
Cut it into the gut sack. Don't cut into the gut sack.
I had one buddy that told me, he's like, dude, I want to go and I want to gut the deer and I want you to tell me the wrong place to cut. And I'm like, as funny as that would be, I don't know if I can do that in all good consciousness because that'll stink.
Ruin, yeah.
And then he fucked me over in a game of Magic. So he's
he's catching it. He's catching it.
It's coming back. It's coming back.
Well, perfect. Like always, I appreciate you coming on. You know, I definitely give my seal of approval on your content. I think it's amazing, and I think,
thank you.
You know, like we talked last time, I think that as you continue that grind, there's going to be a lot of rewards from it because you're just producing good content.
It's really enjoyable. I have a good friend that her 2 sons, who are 4 and 5, are 2 of my biggest fans. Actually,
I love it.
I ran into them the other day, and they were just like, "Mom, it's the guy. It's the guy from the shows." I was like, "What shows?" They're like, "Are you the guy from Stahle Outdoors?" I'm like, "No, that's my brother you're looking for." I'm like, "No, yeah, that's me. And they want to take a picture with me, which was cool.
I love that.
I'm like, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's like one of those heartwarming moments of like.
I just took that. I'm like, I'm not gonna do a huge thing about this. I'm like, I'm just gonna take this. I'm just gonna take this and be like,
I love that.
This makes me happy.
Shout out Mountain Ops.
Yeah, Mountain Ops. Oh, I was gonna tell you, dude. If you want some bomb ass ignite one morning or whenever, order the Hush lemonade and like the strawberry kiwi and mix a half scoop of each.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. Oh man,
I got the classic Tiger's Blood still, and
that's good stuff.
It's good. But yeah, thank you again, and I do want to give a quick shout out again to our sponsor, Dark Prime Collectibles. If you guys are into Magic, Pokemon, we talked a lot about it. Legos, action figures, Star Wars, Dark Prime Collectibles is the place to go. You can check out their website. They do have an online store. Or if you are in the Utah area, 354 State Street in Clearfield, Utah, 84015. I've been hanging out with them a lot. I have a good time there. I get lost in their store just looking at the wide variety of stuff that he has. So go check them out. Go show them some love on social media. Maybe you might find a thing or two you want to purchase from them on their website. Again, that's Dark Prime Collectibles. Everyone here watching us live, Deej, Googles, Mike, my man, Salty, Bieber, I know you're still hanging around there.
That's good. Don't forget her.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out and chatting with us tonight. We will be back next Friday, 2 shows, 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. Hope to see you guys there. Have a good rest of your weekend. Bye. Oh, and
Copper beard.
Copper Beard. Caught you right at the end, man. Take care.